Hey, everybody. Sorry, I am late. Y'all gonna have to bear with me with this week because my birthday is coming up and I got a lot of things going on. I'm trying to balance, honey. It is not working for your good sis, but I'm doing my best. Thank everybody who gave me grace for pushing this live back. I was supposed to do the live yesterday. However, the reason why I don't go live after the Sistas episode premieres on Wednesday nights is because I actually have acting class on Wednesday nights. And that's something that I'm prioritizing. And I've been performing a lot. So, yeah, that's why I haven't... I'm not, going live right after. I'm not really live tweeting the whole entire time because usually while the show is on, I'm actually might be watching it in my car as I'm driving to class. So that's why the days are a little bit off. So moving forward, including next week, I will be going live on Thursdays regularly to talk about Sistas after the show premieres. Also, I ain't even gonna hold you, y'all. I really had to think about it. Like, I had to think about, did I want to prioritize watching Sistas live and talking about it live with y'all, or going and putting the work in and doing what I got to do? Like, I'm prepping for my show. I also have a film. Like, I have a whole bunch of things happening in the background, and like me being in class and me getting the reps in and me submerging myself into this space is going to be very, very important for some of the things I have moving forward. And the show is dragging. So like, for us to be getting a little bits of information that we get every episode and me like stopping my life to make sure that I talk about it at, right after the episode go off, it doesn't make sense. So hopefully Thursdays will work out with y'all. I'm really open to the time as long as it's like before like 5:30 Pacific Standard Time. So typically right now we're going to be doing it at 5 on Thursdays, but we can do it at 4, we can do it at 3, we can do it earlier by any means. So just drop in the comment section down below what would you prefer, because we definitely going to have these conversations, and I'm more interested in my talks with y'all about the show afterwards than I am with even watching it right now, because it's just dragging. But anywho, welcome in if you are watching right now for the live. Thank y'all so much again for giving me grace. We're going to be talking about episode 14 in this video, in the wild world of these Atlanta-based sisters. So I also just dropped my breakdown video a few hours ago. If you haven't already gotten a chance to take a look at that, please go ahead and do so. Because all of my thoughts are really in there. It's really just kind of moving slow. It's interesting that where we're about to be at with the series, because season 5 has already been shot. I really think that we're getting season 5 before the end of the year, but it's when I'm thinking about the timeline of like how slow the rest of season 4 is moving, the fact that we have Fatima, which we're going to get probably when this wraps, so when season 4 is over, and then we're probably going to get like a couple weeks and then go right back into season 5. I'm just like trying to place where we're going to be in the story by the end of season 5, because it's like I love Tyler Perry. He's done such amazing things for us and just created spaces for us to have our stories told and the multifaceted stories that we have. But it's also like, can we get to the point with some of the stuff in this episode? Why are we still seeing Q, who is now giving us a sob story about how he was molested at age 3? Why does Hayden get to parade around with his smug ass look and scream, "I got you locked up" to ZAC, and Q in on Andi like, "Oh, I know about you and Robin." Like, I'm gonna need us to get to, because all of this stuff could have already come out already, or should have already come out already, and it feels like a lot of times we're rehashing story elements and beats that we already know are points of contention or conflict. And it's like, can we get to it? Because in real life, nobody is waiting to, like, I don't know. Y'all gonna have to tell me y'all's thoughts. The biggest things about this episode to me were the conversation with Danni and ZAC, specifically about Karen and ZAC and Danni and Preston, and ZAC's need to play hitch to Preston. And he's not doing a great job of it because he got his fingerprints all over it. Child, a mess. Also, Karen and Aaron, and Karen specifically processing, learning that she's only barely 4 weeks pregnant, and really having to sit with like how she feels about that, processing the feelings of like she does want this to be ZAC's baby. She did think that it was ZAC's baby, but she also has this really incredible man who's standing right here in her face, ready to step up, ready to support her, ready to be a father to this child because he believes that this is his child as well. And just seeing her have to go through that, I think that that's a lot. So many people are just like, she just needs to go ahead and be with the preacher. She just needs to go. And it's just like, you honestly don't know what she would do unless she was in a situation. And I don't know if we're giving enough grace or credit to how tough of an emotional place this is to be in, that Karen happens to be in. So yeah, to me, those are the biggest things: the conversation with Danni and ZAC, and then Karen in the news and like how she feels about it, and then Aaron. I really need Aaron to back off, honestly. Like, she gonna be pregnant for a whole nother 9 months. Anything that you got to say, you have all up until 9 months to say those things. You do not have to say it right now, 20 minutes after this doctor then crushed all her damn hopes and dreams and changed her reality for the better or the worse. We don't know. Depends on, it's like from her perspective, forever. So Aaron, calm down. Now, I would say another big part is like ZAC attacking Hayden, but that's going to be the lead in into next week's episode. We're going to get to actually see the fight in next week's episode. And I'm all for Hayden getting his ass whooped, y'all. Like, I love a good Hayden just getting what's coming to him. But I really, in this one moment, was kind of hoping that ZAC wouldn't. I didn't want him to do it. Specifically, you just got put in jail, snatched up for this illegitimate ass child and the back child support for that. You are still on probation, and now you're going to body a lawyer in his corporate law office with plenty of witnesses around. Like, ZAC, do you want them to put you under the jail? Make it make sense, sir. Make it make sense. So I would put that on this episode, but I'm not, because we're going to get the bulk of that in next week's episode. Other than that, it was like so many other like little slow beats. We get Gary calling Hayden. Oh, is Robin in town? Oh, I knew she was lying. Look at you. You out here outing this girl and giving Hayden information that he don't even know on this girl, but you supposedly love her so bad. Like, Gary, go to hell, bro. The little conversation between Gary and what the hell is the boy's name? Jake. The little conversation between Gary and Jake, because he really just seems to believe, I believe he's the one who called the SEC on ZAC, but he really believes that ZAC was doing some crazy type stuff and is trying to get him all caught up. And you know that he kind of got Jake getting closer to ZAC just so that he can try to figure out what exactly he did so that they can basically try to screw him, because that's what Gary likes to do. But he don't even realize that Jake is cultivating a very real friendship with ZAC, and he ain't playing Gary's side no more. But the one thing I was wondering is like, why didn't Jake call ZAC? But I also feel like maybe the filming is like a little bit off in time, because the way that they got Andi running back and forth between the law office and the jail to go and talk to Fatima, it seemed a bit off. So I think that when we do see, Jake decide to make that phone call, it is going to be him trying to call ZAC. But I was really wondering in this episode, by the time that we saw the whole episode, I was like, damn, Jake didn't call ZAC after he found out. Like, he seemed like he was very concerned. He seemed like, as a best friend or budding best friend would do, like, you just heard his girl got locked up. Like, do you know, what do you need? Like, can I help you out? So I guess we're just gonna have to see with that. We probably won't see Jake pop back up until after ZAC beats Hayden's ass, and then ZAC is probably calling Jake from jail or something like that. Lord, Tyler Perry, it's so messy. Lord, it's so damn messy. I can't. But yeah, we got those little beats. We got the little beats of like Sabrina and Maurice talking at the bank about how Calvin was so hurt when he showed up. Them flowers really hurt him, right? Calvin, no, we don't care. We don't care that you're hurt by these flowers. You're a man who... It's interesting because when we first met Calvin in the series, I was excited for him. He was a little eccentric, or a little eclectic. That's the first word I used was the wrong word. He's a little eclectic and very much so in touch with his feminine side, which is not a bad thing. But he also now has like leaned into like embracing toxic tendencies and toxic mindset. So like you're hurt by this other man wooing her, or this other man, I guess, showing who he is to her, and you feel like that's more in line with her. Like, have a conversation or don't. Tell this girl that you want to be with her or don't. Tell her what it's going to look like to be together or don't take it. Like, at what point do you value yourself? And I'm saying this not for like a blanket statement for everybody, because when you're young, it makes sense because you don't know this stuff. But these people are 30 plus, 35 plus. Like, when we started the series, these women are supposed to be, hey Francine, these women are supposed to be, 35, 36. I think Karen was 36 when we started the series. Like, y'all are older in your 30s. You know better. Like, the little games that they're playing, the little things that they're not saying, it's just like so stupid. You have no time for it. You're being childish, and can't nobody do nothing for you or show up in the way that you need them to show up or build a relationship with you if you hiding behind some bullshit and only presenting a shallow version of yourself. Like, Calvin, your feelings could have been hurt by them damn flowers, but you also, where's your flowers at? Did you bring any? No, you too busy trying to box bio in his restaurant and do, like, Sabrina and Calvin just not gonna work. There were times where I wanted them to try and make it work. I wanted them to try to understand each other, but they're giving me a goddamn headache now. So just let it be done, because I don't even want to talk about it. Like, I can't. In theory, they could get to a cool place, but these adults, these grown-ass adults, way too many of them are not having conversations that they know they need to have, and then they're getting pissed that they don't get the results that they want. Hey, Tamika. Jake did call ZAC after Gary left the office. ZAC didn't answer. Oh, yeah, he did. ZAC didn't answer, and he left a message. You so right. I totally forgot about that part. Thank you for that, because you are 100% right. Oh, wait, where did my chat background go? Hold on, y'all. Let me fix this real quick. You are so right. We just didn't get this. Okay, because he didn't answer. Got it. I think I was like, why didn't Jake do something else? Like, but we're probably going to see that in the next episode. He called, he left a message. You're totally right. Yes. Okay. What did y'all think about the episode? Because I'm sitting up here rambling on and on and on. How did y'all feel about it? It's interesting because I feel like with the James, hey James, best one for this half of the season. This episode was the best one. Why was this episode the best one? I felt like it was slow. Maybe I'm just forgetting stuff. Francine says, I don't know what's going on with characters out of Calvin's bar. Calvin's bar? Melrose one says maybe he should have sent a text if he didn't hear back from ZAC right away. I guess I'm also like, when we think about like the order of the episode when it happened, we saw Jake call ZAC before ZAC went up to the law firm. But maybe he was calling while, because like I said, when I was watching the episode, I was a little bit disoriented in reference to time because of how they have it. When you think about episode 13 and then last week's or last night's episode, Wednesday night episode, the way they got Andi running back and forth to the damn jail, and then she's also at the law firm, I'm like, this actually doesn't feel like it makes sense. But that could 100% be just how they structured and showed the scenes in the order that they did in the episodes. Jada says, it was okay. I was ready to see ZAC beat Hayden, but that didn't happen. Francine says, Gary, Aaron, Hayden has the same characteristics. They don't pace themselves and they're shady. Wait, Aaron is shady too? Oh, Lord. I wasn't anticipating that. I wasn't anticipating you'd be like, Aaron is shady. Why is Aaron shady? My word. I think I'm trying to still wrap my head around with Aaron specifically. Like, I think that he genuinely cares for Karen. I think that he genuinely wants to be in a relationship with Karen. And I'm also wondering, just like, why do you want to be her baby daddy? Like, it's one thing to be like into somebody, but then it's another to like want to be the child of this, I mean the father of this person's child, given the fact that you were married, your wife had kids, and you signed those kids over to the grandparents to just be done with it. I'm just like, I don't know, something about that does feel off, and like feel like it's something more there. Like, I do feel like I'm waiting for the other shoe to drop with Aaron as a character. Because Tyler Perry be playing games and be pulling people's backstories out the damn woodwork. But I don't know. Is that what you mean by you feel like he's shady? Okay, now I can fix this. There we go. Right. I don't know how to feel about Aaron and Jake yet. Yeah, cause Jake too. Jake seems like a really cool guy, but then he's also maintaining this relationship with Gary, and I'm trying to figure out, is Gary his boss or just his coworker? Like, your mouth ain't running like a river enough for me in reference to telling other people what's happening here. Like, you heard him say that Hayden is just playing a game. Like, yeah, like you said, he probably should have sent the text too. Like, after he just call me back. Like, we don't even know what we calling you back about. You could be trying to go play basketball. Like, we need a 911 emergency. Latoya says that Aaron has an obsession with wanting to be better than ZAC. Which is so weird. Like, that is weird because I went back and I rewatched this scene so much because I've been working on some other content in the background, right, y'all? And I went back and rewatched the scene where Aaron checks Karen for disrespecting ZAC right in front of him. Or just for disrespecting ZAC, period. He's like, I will never be that dude. And I'm like, okay. And then we see this guy, and I'm just, and every now and again, he's like, I'll be a better father than ZAC. I'm a better boyfriend than ZAC. Like, all of these different things, and it's just like, you was very much so initially started out like, give this man his respect. Well, I would never be this guy. You already knew that you would never be this guy. So what's understood don't need to be said. So I don't know. Maybe you're right. Like, haven't thought about that part specifically of like it being an obsession on his part. But I really just want to better understand his motivation for why, because it feels like it shifted. It really feels like it shifted. Francine says, I believe Aaron is sterile. Aaron is a good dude, but he needs to let Karen breathe. Hayden is itching for that. Hayden is... I hate to say this, but Hayden is itching to be disappeared. Like, he's the person at this point, if we're going to take the gloves off, now he got to disappear. Like, we need to drive him, kidnap him, and drop him off in the middle of America somewhere, like, and just stay there, wherever you're at, and figure out your way back, because he's too much. He's too much. Francine says, yes, that has a lot to do with it, but I guess Aaron would not be my type. I didn't like the little conversation he had with Karen about his parents either. Wait, what conversation? About his parents or her parents? Because I don't remember that. I don't remember him giving us much on Tyler Perry specifically, giving us much on Aaron, aside from he's a preacher, he runs a men's group, that's how he met Gary and befriended Gary. He had a wife who was crazy. Tamika says, yeah, he could have gave him details in the message, but I think Jake got ZAC back for real. I think he's gonna tell ZAC everything when he sees him. Remember, we are dragging, okay? Dragging. For real. And I really need Tyler Perry to pick up the pace. I really do. And I'm sorry, y'all. I had the time of my life in acting class on Wednesday night. Like, we was putting in work. My studio is fire. So until we pick it up, I ain't gonna be able to be compromising those days to just come and sit and watch Tyler Perry give me 15 minutes worth of content in an hour episode. I ain't even gonna be able to do it. Hey Vaughn, welcome in. Calvin is starting to get on my nerves. Starting. Baby, if they can't come up with a new storyline for Calvin, then they might as well go ahead and fire him. And I'm sorry to any actor on here if I say that you should be fired. It's not because I think that you're talentless. It's just because that you're serving no purpose in this moment. Like, you're really serving no purpose. The fact that Calvin is sitting at home eating dinner with the man who robbed him, cleaned out his bank account, and then turned around and put a gun to his roommate and his best friend's head and tried to rob their job. And he's sitting up there eating smothered pork chops like everything is all gravy. Calvin, you can't make it make sense. So I can't even ask you to make it make sense. James says, Erica, do you remember when Aaron called Karen and told her, God said you're my wife? That's God says that we'll have you looking crazy out here. God, you said God got him looking crazy out here. So that's it. He just decided and he means it, like that's going to be his wife. Okay. You right. He did say that. But then if he knows that, then why is he so pressed? If he believes that, like, faith isn't like worrying it into existence and over talking it into existence. Like, faith is like, you know that it's going to be regardless of what the circumstances look like right now. So, like, are we a man of faith or are we not? Stop asking this girl some questions. Just stop talking. Like, you want to be around her, but she needs you to be silent, then just be silent if you want to be around her that bad. Like, it makes total sense to me. I don't understand why these men can't compute. I really don't understand it. After reanalyzing season 1, I don't even like Fatima no more, and I'm tired of Karen getting the short end of the stick, but I'm still ready for Hayden to go somewhere. I don't care how it happens. Listen, DNC greatness, that's a word. That is a word, because when you go back and you rewatch season 1 after what we have up until this point in season 4, it makes things very, very clear. So I doubled down, and Karen is my good sis, and I'm not about to be playing with y'all, because the way that people are running around creating this narrative of Karen has always been angry. Karen has never apologized. I literally went searching, rewatching, searching, and pulling scenes. Like that scene when she came to Danny's house to get ZAC after finding out that Danny and ZAC did not actually sleep together and her and Danny made up. How apologetic she was, how honest she was, how, like, in that car, in the ride home in the car, before they got it on, she was like the rawest that we have ever even seen her. And Zach's like, I promise I'm never going to cheat on you no more. I'm not going to do this and I'm not going to do that. And she wasn't even mad. She's like, you can't promise me that. And that's okay. Like, she was so accepting of the space that she's in and like who she's with and the flaws and all. And I was just like, this girl has been doing her goddamn best. And these people want to act like, no. I'm not going to say that I don't like Fatima anymore, because I really do like ZAC and Fatima together. I like Fatima as a character. I will say that I never struggled with ZAC in the series, like from season 1, even though he was an F-boy, but that's because I feel like I dated a ZAC. And the ZAC that I dated is no longer here, and I've gone through the journey of like healing and looking back, and I registered that like in the moments that our thing was happening, our relationship was happening, he was doing the very best that he could. He was doing all that he knew. And I take solace in the fact that that man loved the shit out of me. Did he know how to love me? No. But he loved me the best that he could. So I never really had a problem with ZAC, because I saw him for what it really was, aside from all of the dumb shit he was doing. It is not until now that I'm starting to get little bits of like, I don't like how ZAC is moving, because I feel like he's allowing his money to change him in a way that doesn't feel true to his core. I think that he's also developing, I know that this is a mental disorder, so I know he's not really developing it, but he's giving me multiple personalities, because he gives Fatima a completely different person, and everybody else gets raggedy ass ZAC, gets it's whatever ZAC. Everybody else gets like not enough care, not enough thought, not enough attention, and I'm like, if you're really grown, if you've really changed, then this would be your new baseline. It wouldn't be, oh, when this woman walks in the room, I'm this way, but with everybody else, I'm this way. So like, I'm just now arriving at a place where I don't dislike ZAC, but at certain parts of him, I'm just like, I'm getting over, because I don't feel like he's on a journey that he is trying to believe that he's on, if that makes sense. But I love your comment. Thank you so much for saying it. Like, yes, after reanalyzing season 1, DNC says, I don't even like Fatima no more, and I'm tired of Karen getting the short end of the stick. Period. Tamika says, Hayden got that swoop. Now ZAC going back to jail. I'm so over this back and forth with this Hayden character. So over it. Hey, Melrose One. Francine says he gave a little description of his parents when they were in the office. He didn't say much. He just talked about how humble they were. Yeah. And maybe I'll just be tuning Aaron out because he don't be saying much. I don't know. But I need more story. Like, the most we got out of this boy is when he got drunk and showed up at Karen's house and then pulled his damn pants down. Like, aside from that, he's just so focused on her. And I'm just like, I need to understand him as a person more. Vaughn, I am going to be doing Sistas on Thursday nights, but yesterday I had a performance in my acting class and I was like running late in the day and I really just wanted to lock in. So I just pushed the live from yesterday back so that I could have the time that I needed to prepare for my scene and then go to class. So moving forward, we will be live on Thursdays, but I just had to do it like that yesterday. Tamika, you said I remember that, but wait, so why are you looking like, why you gotta give me some more words, Tamika? Why are you saying damn? Which part? Because I said a lot. DNC says I can totally respect that. It's 100% possible to still like Fatima and love Karen, but for me, I feel like Fatima came about was so unfair and to the disadvantage of Karen and all the characters, in my opinion. I'm screenshotting your comment because I feel like that's a video that I need to jump into that. Like, hey Vanessa, welcome in, boo. That's a word. That's something to unpack and to think about. It took me a while to get on board with Fatima, not because I like Fatima, period. And I think that it's 100% possible to love Fatima and to love Karen, because I believe that they are literally the same person at different stages in their lives. Karen is at one place and Fatima is at this place. And Fatima has been Karen, has gone through what Karen is currently going through. And now that she's out of it, she has healed. She's gone through the 5 stages of grief. She's done everything that she was going to do. She's arrived at the Fatima that she is now. It boggles my mind how many people hate Karen but love Fatima because they are literally the same person. The only difference is that we did not get to see Fatima when she was doing Karen shit. So that's one thing. But it is something to be said about feeling like the way that Fatima came about being unfair to not only Karen but to everybody, because in all honesty, Fatima eclipsed the entire show. The show really, like, for me, I watch for ZAC, Fatima, and Karen. That's why I watch. Sabrina and Calvin ain't giving me nothing that I need. Danni was giving me what I need, but then she ain't moving fast enough and through her for me. So her and Preston ain't giving me what I need. It is literally them, and I can agree initially, but I would have to unpack more of my thoughts to be able to articulate the nuance I feel like that's there in the statement that you made. But shout out to you, like, you coming through the chat today with the words, okay? Come on. Maurice, Q, and Calvin need to go, says Casey? Casey? I'm sorry if I mispronounced it. Tamika says, I totally agree. ZAC seemed to be living a double life in that aspect. Yeah. And if you're going to be solid all the time, not half the time. Jada L says, I feel like not everybody should get a new ZAC because when he say I changed, they always say, oh, really? But I get what you're saying. So I understand the sentiment behind what you're saying, Jada, but you don't change for other people. When I say that the world should get the new ZAC, it's like if you a bomb ass businessman now with some intellect to you, you moving different, you not rash, you would be that, period. You would be that at Trader Joe's, you would be that at Target. Like, be who you are. If y'all were to meet me in real life, this is me. I am not one way. I mean, if anything, I might be more open with the people who are closest to me, but I'm not on here like giving y'all the real of like what I think and my perspective on love, life, relationships, interpersonal things. And then in my real life, I'm just like, yeah, and I feel like that's what ZAC is doing. So it's one thing to reserve parts of yourself and have privacy for, specific people and in certain connections, but it's another to say, I am this stand-up person, but I'm going to go give this shitty ass go and use all these women just so that you could try to make this woman jealous. But, in my relationship, I'm healthy, strong, and we got it together, and I'm a man who got some sense. Like, those two things don't compute to me. They don't line up. And to me, ultimately, if you don't release those things, those bad habits, those bad thoughts, those bad, mindset traps that you already had, and you hanging on to them, even if it is to give it to people who don't deserve the new you, then you're still capable of justifying that behavior at any moment. And then it's just going to be about, at what point does Fatima do something that triggers you to go to pull one of those responses up and then bring it back? But if you are going to be this new person all the time, then you do away with all that foolish ass childish thinking, and all you have is your new mindset, your new resources, your new responses to things moving forward. So whether you're triggered, angered, excited, whatever, you're responding from your new toolbox of who you currently are versus going back to what you had. Does that make sense? I don't know if I went too meta with that, but let me know. CNC says, my issue with ZAC is he's become very full of himself, looking down on everyone else, forgetting where he came from. Fatima getting herself arrested over a man she barely knows yet. It's been weeks. It's the uncomfortable truths for me, DNC. Like, it's really just the uncomfortable truths, because had ZAC not been ZAC, right? And who we know ZAC to be. Like, imagine if Fatima was doing all of this same stuff for a raggedier Negro. We would not be having it. But somehow we have gotten on board and we are rallying. And it's crazy because it's not until you worded it the way that you did that I'm like, yeah, you right. I gave up on the idea of ride or die a while ago. But meanwhile, I'm sitting up here championing Fatima in this whole Zatima thing. Listen, that's some to talk about. For real. And yes, ZAC is becoming very full of himself. And I think that that's, for me specifically, that's kind of like a trigger because I don't like elitist Negroes. I really don't. Especially when you know where you come from. Like, I it just chaps my ass so bad. I need for TP to make it make sense for me. Exactly. Francie says too focused on Karen. Wait, which part is too focused on Karen? Aaron. I think a lot of us forget sometimes each season is only about a week or so. Yes. Mika says season 1, yes, Karen wasn't who she is now. I totally feel for Karen, but I think that she got to start trying to figure out her way without ZAC and Aaron at this point. And Tamika, I think that we are actually watching her do it, but because the show is dragging so long and we going episode and still seeing her in the process, people aren't registering that she is actually doing that. It's a process. It's not a switch. I'm so glad in my breakdown video for this week, I actually put the 5 stages of grief, which are, because I actually had it pulled up. Hold on. The 5 stages of grief are denial, anger, bargaining, depression, and acceptance. We are watching Karen go through these things, but because the episodes are taking so long and dragging out this storyline, people are like, oh, she's stuck. She's not stuck. She's going through every single stage of what is clinically diagnosed as like what you do anytime you're grieving anything. We have watched her be in denial, and then people were on her neck about that. We have watched her be angry. People were on her neck about that. Now I think that she's in a bargaining place. And people are on her neck about that. She's literally moving her way from one stage to the next through the process of grief and losing this relationship, losing the life that she had imagined and wanted for herself, that is no longer going to happen. And because we can register that TP is dragging the storyline along for the sake of the storyline, but when it comes to her specifically, because she ain't done with it yet, it's like, oh girl, you trash, throw you away, you're so ragged. It's like, no, she's a fucking woman who is going through some things, and we have all been through it, but everybody seemed to have forgot and think that they were never caring at any point in life. But okay, like, no, she literally, and I'm not directing this to you, Tamika, at all. She is definitely going through that process now. It's just Tyler Perry's timing is not, it's making it seem like it's more intense than it is. Unfortunately, there are some who act different for different people. Some people act like that in real life. They shouldn't, but it happens. Melrose One, you're right. But and what I say to that is that you aren't who you say you are. So ZAC is going to go from being a person to me who was one thing and he is who he say he is, and now he's shifting in my perspective to being somebody who is not solid. I thought that ZAC was a very solid dude, even with all his mistakes, even with all his missteps and being ridiculous. I was like, he real. ZAC is moving to a place for me that he's not actually real anymore. If he's going to be this for one person and not, then he's not going to be real, and that's fine. But it's just, that's how I'm going to look at him moving forward. ZAC and Fatima are going to share a jail cell at this point. I can't. ZAC has walked out of one life into a new life, so he must adjust. Yes. Beyince says, at this point, I can't. I don't know what W/H mean. Karen nor Aaron shenanigans. I'm over it. I'm over all of these generic coupling storylines. Well, I mean, I'm here for Karen's just because it feels like I'm watching myself go through the breakup that I experienced, and I feel like it's authentic. I didn't have to deal with potentially being pregnant by somebody else and then wondering all that extra stuff that they put on top of it. But I feel like her storyline is still very, very authentic. And it's interesting. Like, I think I'm intrigued by Aaron because I love the idea of a black man just loving a black woman unconditionally who's not already, like, just pursuing her, because we don't see it often. And I don't know how often we experience it in real life. I really hope we get a scene with Karen maybe apologizing to Pam, because we know that woman is nosy. But from what I've seen, I think that she truly cares and love for Karen. Yeah, I think that Karen was taking out some things on her. And that's what friends do sometimes, unfortunately. I think that Pam knew what it was. And I think that we will get something. Whether she apologizes straight up or she does an act to say that she's sorry, that's coming for sure. Hey, Shishi. Aaron needs to leave Karen alone. She is just way too rude to him. The minute he stops showing interest is when she will want him. I don't believe that. I don't think it's that trite, but, you know, thank you for sharing your opinions. She stood by her when the salon was struggling, has given her a shoulder to cry on, etc. I love an apology and bonding scene with them. Yeah, I definitely think we're going to get a bonding scene. You did say that, Vaughn. You did. You brought it up very early on about her going through the stages of grief. I never put it in a video. I think we only talked about it on live. And now people are getting on my nerves so much to the point of, like, I'm going to just start pulling out psychology articles and putting screenshots and stuff in there, because the way that I have to just feel through so many comments and, like, people DM me all the time about how they hate Karen so much. And I'm just like, why do you feel the need to tell me that? Like, cool, you could post a comment, but, like, people DM me about hating Karen, and it's just like, what about me told you that I'm the person that you should share this with? There's so many Fatima accounts. Any one of them will love to go back and forth with you and bash Karen. It won't be me. Not today, not tomorrow. Hey, Latoya, I know what you're saying about the new ZAC, but doesn't he deserve a space of grace like you're saying Karen deserves? He is from the streets and is not used to having anything he's processing too. Well, one, ZAC and Karen are in two very different places. You want me to give him grace to be an asshole and an elitist? Is that what you're saying? Like, what do I need to give him? Because to me, I've given him grace when we opened the season 1 and Karen is at the doctor's trying to make sure that she don't have an STD because he's cheated on her. And I did not dislike him from then. Helena pops up pregnant and it's like, I did not dislike him from then. A lot of the same stuff that people had a problem with Karen doing in season 3 of, like, her popping up and pursuing ZAC and all that, he was doing to her. He would not leave her alone. She was trying to move on and he was just doing all of the things. I never had a problem with ZAC for that. So when you say now I got to give him grace, I have given him grace. But the buck stops with me when you finally get to a place and then you decide that all of the people who helped you get there or helped you sustain until you were able to position yourself to get into that place no longer matter, no longer mean anything to you. Like I don't know what grace I'm supposed to give for that. Like, you're just looking down on people for what? The grace I'm giving Karen is that she's literally lost something and she's grieving it. ZAC isn't grieving. He's setting himself up, honestly, to fail in some instance, because while he can be solid in his relationship, he still needs other people besides Fatima. But right now he's moving in the direction of the only thing that he needs in this whole world is Fatima. Meanwhile, the SEC is about to come cart your ass off back to jail for insider trading. So you're gonna need Jake. Like, Danny is a real good friend, like a real friend to you. And when you can't talk to Fatima or you need to talk to somebody else and get something before you talk to Fatima, you could talk to Danny. Like, you can't alienate everybody now because all of a sudden you got money and you got a good woman and now everybody ain't so yeah, I don't know what grace will look like in that way. Like, me not saying, yo, you're leaning to be elitist and you're looking down on people. Yeah, can you clarify that for me? Because even with Karen, like, she was wrong for saying what she said to Pam, and she took that out on her. I can say that. Like, I'm not like on Zach's head about it. Like, I'm not like, oh, I dislike Zach as a character now, but I am noting certain things. Like, I'm confused. What I'm confused in reference to what you're saying Grace would look like. Hey, Adriana. From me specifically. Thank you, Vanessa. Enjoy your weekend. This Father's Day, Juneteenth weekend. Yes. Vaughn says, I'm referencing my frustration with all the couples as a whole. It's Tyler's writing at this point. Oh, point blank. I ride for Karen and Aaron, but Lord, I need a Dre. Yeah. That's real. Tamika, you agree? So yeah, so y'all gotta y'all have to elaborate. If you agree with her, then can maybe y'all explain what grace you want me to give to him and how I'm not giving him grace? Hey, Chantel. Latoya says, I don't think that he's looking down on them when he talks about the sister circle. He's respectful. That's not what I said. To me, he's creating this elitist space. Like, he makes certain comments to Danni when he was like, that's a glass table and that's the stuff that I'm talking about. When he's talking about this, I never said anything about that. So maybe it's also people like assume, maybe sometimes y'all need to ask me what I mean if I'm not clear enough for y'all. Like, ask me what I'm referencing, because when he brings up the sister circle, I don't think that's a problem, but I think that him having a duplex now, and then how he was handling Danni within that space. Meanwhile, you have been sleeping in her bed on her couch at a shelter very early on in the series, and she like held you down. Meanwhile, you make it seem like you don't even want her in your house. You can't and she wouldn't know nothing about this table, or she wouldn't know nothing about this. This is important. Like, it's like, Zach, cut it the fuck out, please. And that could be fine for you, but those type of Negroes bother me, because I've come from Baltimore, living in Northeast Baltimore with my grandmother, and my grandmother has, 4 kids. One passed away. Rest in peace to my Uncle Butch. But all of us were in my grandmother's house in the hood. Me and my mom was in one room. My uncle and his 2 kids and his wife was in another room. My other uncle and his kid and his wife was in another room. Like, all living in this one house in the hood, not having nothing, and getting to a place where I have a lot more now, but then going back home and being like, yeah, well, you don't know nothing about this. Like, it's corny. It's corny. There's no grace for me to give to somebody who decides that that's what they want to do. That's not me. If I decide to be like, yeah, I live in LA, when I go back home to Baltimore, like, yeah, I live in LA, y'all wouldn't know what a green juice was if it hit you in the fucking face. Like, there's no grace for anybody to have for me in that. Like, yeah, no. And if anything, I have grace in commenting on it because I haven't thrown Zach away or anything yet. I'm just noting, I'm catching certain things, and I just don't feel like the things that I'm seeing are aligned with the Zach who, one, I fell in love with as a character, and who he has shown himself to be, if that makes sense. DNC says, I thought Zach was okay at first too, but now after going back, I feel he has always been trash and still is, to be honest. Cheating, STDs, women popping up pregnant was bad enough. But then I realized this fool also had a job, but had Karen paying for everything like his mama. He literally treated Karen like crap in every area but domestic violence. Yeah. And like I said, I didn't have a problem with him because I told y'all I was looking at Zach through the eyes of a girl who has dated him. The man was killed. And I just understand why it was wrong. And I went through hell. When I tell y'all hell, I'm not mad at that man anymore, which is probably also how I was I'm not mad at Zach. But what you're saying is not wrong. But even that to me just points to all the grace that I have had for ZAC, because I understood all that he had did. I was just like, but he want to do right, but he trying. And again, that really just speaks to my trauma and, you know, how we normalize certain things as we go through them, and we just come to accept things. It is what it is. I just think it's his joking personality. He loved Danni as a sister. Latoya, that wasn't clear to me. Even him being like pointing out her uniform because he no longer works at that job anymore, but you was like busting your ass trying to pick up shifts, and she got you that job. It's like those little digs, like you could take it like it's people's joking personalities, but there's so much truth behind jokes. And in the way I saw the scene, he was making too many of them for none of it to be how he felt. And it makes sense because he did feel like at some point he was being shitted on by them. So maybe this is his way to get back at them. But then it goes back to like, are you a person who has evolved and has healed, or are you not? And that's cool too. If you're not, cool, but you running around here acting like new ZAC, but you giving nothing but old ZAC. And then again, there's no grace for me to give in that. Like, it is what it is. Karen never cheated. Her and ZAC were on again, off again. In the moments that they were off, that's when she called Rico. That has been cleared. That has been stated. It has been a thing. They have confirmed it. Like, she has never cheated. That has also been said in the show. So, yeah. But if you want to believe that she cheated on ZAC, then go right ahead. Like, my channel is not here to convince y'all of things that you've come up with on your own at all. I'm here to talk about what I'm given and then give you my perspective, and that is coming from my personal lived experience and where my mindset is right now. Everything else is outside of my hands. I have tried to have conversation. I have tried to do it, and it's just like, y'all ain't gonna stress my ass out. My birthday is next week. I'm turning up this weekend. Y'all ain't gonna stress me out about it. You just not. Karen has never cheated. You think that she has? Okay. That's it. Vaughn says that exchange with Danni and ZAC was irritating AF. ZAC and his juvenile immature behavior was too much. Yeah. Tamika says, not saying you're not giving grace. I agree that he's from the streets and he ain't never had ish, but I don't like how he's acting with Danni at all. That's it. That's all I'm saying. I don't like, and honestly, what we have seen with the show is like, you get things in small doses first and then it builds up. So for me, I'm making a note in my breakdowns and stuff because I'm like, all right, I don't like that. I'm seeing this and I don't like that. I'm seeing this and I don't like that, because I also feel like more is coming. Like, I really do feel like we're about to see a real shift in ZAC's character, and I don't like that. I'm holding out hope, but I don't like that. Adriana says, I'm over Hayden. He is a prime example of a man that's gone off the walls. Him and Gary are a disgrace to men. Yep. Period. DNC says, and that condescending, rude behind comment he made about, I got a better house, a better woman. All of it is so elitist for no reason. That wasn't a joke. Like, none of that was a joke. I'm tired of him talking slick about Karen when he claims to be so done. That part. Because when you done, when you heal, poking at where that wound was no longer gets any reaction. But when you are still healing, when you are not done, when that shit is still accessible, poking into a wound will get a reaction. But we want to go ahead and ignore that. Grace says money changes people for real. Right, but I didn't think that ZAC would be a type of person that money could change. I didn't think that. I really didn't. Reminded of me, DNC says, reminding me of him showing his behind trading insults with Aaron over Karen. Oh, at that damn basketball court when he was just like, oh yeah, because I called, and I was just like, who are you? Like, you don't even want this girl. What are you even for? Why, ZAC? For why? And maybe this is like my fault because I built up in my head of like, especially like as we watch ZAC's like ascension and like rise from the ashes, right? I built up in my head like, yes, he's the boy who made it. He's the one who like is going to give hope to all other boys. And like, we really don't need to be giving up on them too quickly. Okay, cool. But then you go and you do that and it's just like, it was that him trading insults, or not even trading, because Aaron wasn't even giving him insults back. Like, he literally was like being genuine, and ZAC was coming with all that nasty ass energy, and I was just like, for why, bro? You don't even want Karen. Bragging about his sex with her. I'm like, I feel eventually it may be revealed that he has feelings still there. Joe, I wouldn't be surprised. Latoya and Jay says ZAC and Danny has a Martin and Pam type of relationship. I don't agree with that, because Martin and Pam were not friends for a very long time in that series. Martin and Pam did not become friends until Gina left the show. He told Preston Danny's a good girl. He told Danny the truth. She needed to tell him how she feels. True. He did say that. However, it comes a point sometimes with people where you have to just be open and honest with him. And I said this in my breakdown video. Not open and honest, because you just said that he was honest. Okay, cool. Vulnerable. Danny and ZAC are closer to me than Martin and Pam, to the point where he can be honest and vulnerable. That is not what he did. That is not the environment that he created. He had the power to do what we saw Danny do to Karen. The last time Karen came to Danny's house and she had that real ass conversation, and she was like, for her and all that. This was ZAC's moment to do that exact thing to Danny, and he did not, because he's focused on himself. And I don't feel like right now, the way that he's being written, in a way that he has this relationship with Danny that he should have, or that we got to see the start of when the series began. Jada says, I feel like ZAC like to be petty with Aaron, and Aaron does the same. I don't recall seeing Aaron be petty with ZAC. Aside from when they were fighting at her house and broke that damn TV, I don't ever really see Aaron reciprocate that negative energy towards ZAC historically. And when I tell y'all this is because I really just went through and rewatched scenes. Like, ZAC saved Karen from the crazy ex-wife's brothers or whatever. He's in her house cleaning up his own blood the next day. Aaron comes to check on her, and Karen calls and asks for clothes so that she can stay at Sabrina's house. And ZAC says, ZAC and Aaron have a whole exchange. Aaron is not even moved in that. Like, ZAC is rude as the whole time. And then Aaron takes him. They go together to take the clothes to, like, it's just the stuff. I was just like, what? I think that a lot of people need to go back and rewatch, because some of y'all have forgotten some things. That's all I'm gonna say. Grace says he was nasty with Preston too. He was helping him set up the house. Yeah, but you know, I also am learning in this, y'all, that like people who have favorites sometimes are not going to be able to be objective about their favorite. Like, you like this person, so you can't be honest about their faults or their flaws. You can't see this moment. And it's not okay, but it is what it is. Like, the amount of like stan accounts that I've had to engage with when I speak about a character that happens to be a fave, and they just feel like I'm just so wrong and I need to be damned to hell behind it. It's just like, it is what it is. People are going to create the narratives that they want to create. This television, at the end of the day, it should help you in life. It could teach you something, but ultimately it's made to be escapism. So if that's what you need in reference to this story on Sistas, to escape whatever you got going on, you need to believe that ZAC can do no wrong, then I'm not here to stop you. I'm here to tell y'all what I think. And if you care about my opinion, subscribe and keep watching. If you don't care, don't watch. That's all I got. That's really all I got. 100% about ZAC and the jabs that he takes at Karen when he's so over it, and the energy he gives whenever he sees Aaron. Please, ZAC is such an immature jackass. Vaughn sees that she never liked ZAC. Got it. Vanessa says, when you're done with a person, people need to stop bringing up the past to them. I'm talking about ZAC and Karen. They are finished with one another. Okay. There's a baby on the way, so they're not done, but okay. DNC says, I'm just so interested to see what Mr. Taylor and Miss Carter are tussling for next season, to be honest. Because the stuff ZAC has said here and there this season, woo, I tell you. Wait, like what? Like, what are you anticipating? Shout out to you, DNC. Like, I don't remember your, like, comment. Like, I typically, people who comment a lot, like Vanessa, you're amazing because you literally comment on every video. I usually can remember people's names, but this is my first time seeing you. You have so much insightful, like, thoughts. I want to know more. Vanessa says Karen needs to tell ZAC the truth about the baby, and she needs to leave him alone and let him live a life with Fatima. 1, she's not stopping him from living a life with Fatima. 2, she has told him everything that she knows. She don't know who the father is. Y'all might know, but she don't know, and that damn doctor don't know. She has not bothered ZAC in quite a bit. But that is another thing that I get DM constantly. Karen just needs to leave ZAC alone. We have literally watched at least 7 episodes that she has. Okay. Vonsi says, Aaron has always been cordial to ZAC, period. He's never met ZAC with the same energy that ZAC gives. I'm only going to say that they broke the damn TV. That's the only thing that I'm going to be like, all right, I'll give you that, because he said at that point, fuck it, I'm going to beat your ass. But other than that, there's plenty of times where where Aaron could, but he was just like, nah, I'm a preacher. Nah, I'm okay. I understand you, brother. I remember it being a scene where he literally was like, I get you, ZAC. I see you. He's like, ZAC, like, I don't need you to see, or something. And ZAC is like so rejective of it. So yeah, like, but again, 1, y'all need to rewatch. And then 2, people are going to construct the narrative that they want to construct. Whatever's going to make them feel good, I suppose. Yeah, I don't really know what else to say. I tell you one thing, I'm done arguing with people about stuff that I know to be the truth, and that is liberating for me, because child, I used to be on here fighting for my life, just wanting people to understand things the way I understand them and to see things the way that I see them, and it's just like, y'all aren't going to always do that, and that's fine. It is what it is. Any other thoughts about this episode? Which to me felt like it was dragging, but James said that you loved it. What do y'all rate this episode? On a scale of 1 to 10, what number do you give? Wait, and does anybody want to go on camera and talk about how they feel instead of typing a comment? Because I can open up my IG to patch y'all in if you do. Let me know that in the chat as well. Honestly, I'm anticipating a fight next season, maybe about ZAC wanting Karen back again, depending on what happens to Fatima in that spinoff, or them maybe in a conflict over the baby. Ooh. If ZAC ever turns around and says that he wants Karen back, I don't even know. I just said that and I don't even know what I would do. Like, I would literally lose it, because when I tell you, when Fatima first happened, I was like, all right, he gonna go ahead and scratch this itch. Okay, cool. But ZAC and Karen gonna work it out. Cool. Like, they gotta go their separate ways. They gotta learn, grow, do whatever on their own. Cool. But once I bought into Fatima and like, all right, she making him a better person, it seems, and I released and accepted that ZAC and Karen weren't gonna be a thing. If Tyler Perry has the nerve to bring them back full circle, I am going to lose my shit. Okay? I am going to be unhinged on this here Rihanna's internet. Y'all will not, like, I will be unhinged. But listen, DNC, we can't put nothing past Tyler Perry. Gary's up to something. Gary's always up to something. Melrose once said, didn't Aaron and ZAC go back and forth on a basketball court? It wasn't major. No, ZAC went at Aaron, and Aaron was just like, okay. Aaron asked, how was Fatima? He was asking genuine questions, and ZAC was being ridiculous. Tracy gave this episode a 7. Outside of the altercation, season 1, Aaron has always kept it zen with ZAC. Yep. Good night, Vanessa. You're 100% right about that. He has definitely kept it very, very zen, which is making me nervous, because next season, like, if you haven't already, ericavane.com, I have the synopsis for season 5 and some previews that we got, and that's what DNC was referencing, because ZAC and Aaron are going to fight in season 5. But also, some little random girl pops up like, oh, she's Aaron's girlfriend. And I'm just like, what the hell? What the hell is actually going on? Like, what the hell is actually going on? So, yeah, I'm kind of nervous of what we're going to get from Aaron next season. Ciao. I love an IG interaction. For me, the episode rating was a 5 or 6. Yes. Oh, yeah, I can open up my IG. I don't know if I have to update my IG on my iPad or what, because they don't let me go live from my iPad anymore. Yeah, so we're going to see. The fact that Aaron and ZAC are going to be fighting yet again, and then the fact that Karen is going to get confronted by some little random hoe about being Aaron's girlfriend, I'm just like, bruh, Aaron, you got too much going on. Okay, I'm opening up my IG now so that you can pop on there if you want to get on camera. Ooh. This IG camera don't miss nothing, honey. And let me pull this up. Over here. Your thoughts? Hey IG, what's good? We're talking about Sistas right now on YouTube. to switch this to that. So just send me a request. Hey, Holloman, how are you? On IG if you would like to get on camera. Season 5, there will be a fight between ZAC and Aaron at the restaurant. I thought the previous episode was a little better. This one dragged until the very end. The scene with Calvin, Maurice, and Q was weird. So weird. And it came out of nowhere. Like, Calvin, you really just gonna be sitting here eating smothered pork chops with this? Like, it makes no sense. None at all. Like, absolutely no sense. If Aaron was seriously fooling around with another woman, I'm done. He has looked so committed to Karen thus far, unconditionally. Yeah, it would be a complete weird-ass pivot on Tyler Perry's part. Jada says, when I first heard Karen say she was pregnant, I was like, ZAC is not the daddy, but now I feel like TP playing games because I feel like he making us think ZAC is not the daddy, but he is. Yeah, I feel like ZAC is the daddy, or I feel like there's twins in there and they both is the daddy, which either way I'll be perfectly fine with. I ain't even gonna hold you. Isaiah, since I stopped watching the show when it became clear that TP was using characters to prop up his favorite actors. Q, ZAC, Fatima. Shots fired. Shots fired. Listen, Isaiah, now you might be onto something. You might really be onto something. Oh, okay. Hey, Jalen. Well, listen, y'all be speaking some of these truths now. I'm sick of Q. Sistas has been so disappointing. Uneventful overall. Yeah, I give this episode a 5. Oh, wait. Okay, Jalen. Hold on. Uneventful overall. Yeah, I give this episode a 5. Oh, wait. Okay, Jalen. Hold on. Okay, I think y'all can hear now. Oh shoot, let me mute this. Hold on. I've not done this in so long. Weeks. It has been weeks. All right, mute this. There we go. Hey, Jalen.
What's up, B? How you been?
I've been doing pretty good. How are you post-graduation?
Post-graduation anxiety, trying to find a job.
Well, it should be easy now because ain't nobody, trying to work. And
I'm trying to get into sports media. The only sport that's going on right now is baseball.
Where you at?
Still in Alabama.
You ain't doing a summer internship with ESPN?
Local news station down here, but basically the news station down here is basically like a college program. So they don't really hire students. You work with them. It's a slick program. So you work for them, and then they put you on with other news stations that you're trying to get to.
Mm-hmm. I just came across something where ESPN is looking for people for social.
Somebody already hit me up about that. I'm gonna check it. I'm gonna check it out.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
But let's get down to the fun part. So we ain't talking about sisters in a minute.
It's been a while. On the episode. We live on YouTube right now as well. We were chatting about it, and then DNC was like, "Oh yeah, I want to get on there," so I opened up the live. What's your thoughts?
My thoughts on the episode. I felt like that was the best episode of sisters that we've had in a long time. Going back to the conversation with Fatima, it didn't lag. It didn't drag out.
That was the one episode like shit for me.
Not to me. We've seen drag out episodes. That wasn't like a vintage drag out to me because it showed us exactly things that we wanted to see. A little bit of more recent Q, not a whole lot outside of that sad story that Q tried to tell us. But other than that, we stayed on the whole Karen and Aaron and the doctors having that conversation in the car. You had ZAC like giving it. You had like. You know, we finally saw ZAC and Danni have a conversation in the brand new condo. We finally saw them have that conversation, and it was real. It was no animosity. A lot of shade being thrown, but that's what we love.
I don't feel like that. I feel like it was like surface level real. What I was looking for, honestly, after that scene finished, I was like, I really wanted ZAC to have a moment with Danni that Danni had just had with Karen, and I don't feel like that happened. Like, I feel like he was playing too many games. I felt like he was throwing in little jabs about, like, oh, my glass table and look at your uniform because you got a job. And, like, he was doing, and I was just like.
But that's what they do. But that's what they do, though. Like, even going back to when ZAC was going back and forth with living with Danni. They was going back and forth. They always do shots. Literally every time Danni will bring up old stuff, ZAC will bring up old stuff. The whole, like, you know, Danni do this, ZAC did that. All of that, like, that was a vintage Danni and ZAC moment, and I definitely can't cuss on here because I was paranoid that my mom's always gonna be watching, so like can't do that. But anyway, that's what I always like. That's always like. So we got that moment. Andi
we got
and
the
Fatima.
back and forth with them, but I don't know. I just feel like, to me, it didn't feel like vintage ZAC and Danni, because vintage ZAC and Danni felt like they were really friends. This ZAC and Danni felt like, to me, like he don't actually want her around. Like they're not friends. Like he has a new life that he don't even want to see her a part of, and that part bothered me.
I can see that, and I can understand it to a certain degree. But here's the thing: if you had to think about all of the other four, between Karen, Danni, Danni, Andi, and Sabrina, Danni on that list is the one person that like he really want to connect with or stay close to out of all the four. Oh, outside of Andi, who you know is a lawyer. But besides the business part, with Danni, they've had that relationship for a long time. To me, I get where you're going with that one. But on the conversation that he said like, I missed you, and the whole hugging stuff, like,
yeah. So those little bits, yeah. But for me, the overall tone, it didn't. We only had like little moments, so it was kind of inconsistent.
But here's the thing: you have to get in the mind of an asshole. You have to get in the mind of that. And I'm a pro. That's why I can relate to that. I've had plenty of conversations just like that.
Also a Negro, so.
That too! That too! See, you're learning. You have to get in the mind of that. When you're doing good, okay, so to me, I see when ZAC looked at Fatima and had that conversation, I get the energy that, like, and this is where they do tremendous acting. I can literally feel the energy in which ZAC came a long way of where he was going back and forth with Karen, living at both Karen and his spot, and Danni's spot, to now he got his brand new condo, and like he's enjoying life. Danni sees it. Now, is she taking it now? The whole, like, whether he's going to be the father or not of Karen's kid, I mean, of course, like, Danni's always going to come with the heat. And that's why we love her. She's always going to come with the heat with the questions. But for the first time, ZAC answered it the right way in which we wanted him to answer it. Say, you love her, you're going to be there, but he in love with Fatima, and that's the bottom line. So I'm happy about that. Hayden, if he survives this season, and I don't wish death upon anybody at all.
But then gotta go.
But if he somehow survives going into the next season, I might have a problem with TP. Because when you got the news, the team series coming out, we don't need that mess. We don't need him. I'm hoping Robin, he comes in here like an OG, handles his business, get Fatima and ZAC out because we already know ZAC's going to get going to jail. We already know. He threw the punch. We saw the previews. They had 8 different cops. I counted. It was around 8 or 9. So like we already know he's gonna get sent back. I got a problem with Fatima not calling ZAC, not wanting to call and tell ZAC what happened. Because you know he's gonna snap like that. You know him because he's your other person. But you gotta give him heads up because you know him. And he's gonna figure out where you at when you ain't picking up. So at least give him a heads up. But we already knew how Fatima is. Now Fatima,
him showing up at the law firm. She didn't think that part through. It'd have been fine had he never showed up at the law firm.
I'm sorry, but like bruh's like, she ain't picking up my calls, she ain't answering none of my texts. I'm about to go see what's up. Any good dude, any faithful dude, any dude that's really into his woman and not into in a psycho way, into in a managerial way and a responsible way and a real true caring way, they're gonna figure out what's up. Because there's a mental ticker that's going on. Say like, all right, it's been this long. She ain't text back. It's not even on it's on like on iPhones, it's on straight delivered. It ain't even on red. It's not even in red. It's on delivered. And the calls, it go from ringing to the voicemail. Now it's going straight voicemail. Nah, he already knew. He already got the sense of it. And then like we kind of knew that was gonna happen. But with Hayden and Gary.
And he got out that night. So what I'm saying is not too much on Fatima because they are alike. And I get why she did what she did, the way she did it.
I get that. Now, what's the name of the dude that's friends with ZAC but also works for Gary?
Jake.
I used to not trust him. I trust him now. He's cool. I like Jake. He's cool. He's a cool, solid brother. He's looking out for ZAC when Gary and like Hayden going after him. We already understand that. I'm waiting for a Gary Robin confrontation because I feel like that's gonna come. But
that's gonna come before Hayden is confronted by Robin. Because now you run around here telling the owner's business. Why are you telling people when I'm in town, when I'm not in town? Because I think Andy's going to tell that.
My thing is, I hope that Robin knows that he got people that's like trying to keep in touch, like got eyes on him to know when he's coming into town and whatnot. So that's one thing I'm hoping Robin.
Confronting Andi told her everything that she needed to know. So now,
Yeah.
It's like you know, Hayden is like tracking you.
I'm happy that Andi's starting to get some gangster on herself as well. She's learning a lot from Fatima, and she using her sources.
Don't say that. I don't know about no gangsters.
What you mean? Oh, by the way, I can barely hear you.
Aside from her and this whole, she can't
E, I can barely hear you.
You can't hear me? Can you hear me now?
Still low. Your volume is still low. And I got my phone blasted.
Okay. Can you hear me now?
Better. But what were you saying?
I'm not gonna say that Andi is gangster. She's trying to play in a manipulative.
Oh, she's not, but she's learning how to use her sources when somebody's trying to play with her.
Okay, I'll say that. She ain't gangster though, by far.
Yeah, she not. We know she's not gangster, but she's learning. She's learning. She's never gonna be that. But she's learning that if somebody trying to keep tabs on her in a creepy way, she got to learn how to react and retaliate. You're a lawyer, and you're a good one at that. But the thing that I really gained more respect for Andi on is this. When Hayden was all smug and came up to her, Andi didn't look bothered. And Hayden wanted to throw jabs at her. Andi like, yeah, you may have your expertise, but I bring in more money than you. You can't mess with me. And I said, like, I was like, Andi earned my respect again. She earned my respect. And so, but like looking at the previews for like next week's show, I'm excited. The conversation with Karen and Andi, that's gonna be interesting because I'm trying to remember the last time them two had a conversation, and it's been a minute. Not to mention Karen's gonna walk in. Say what now?
The last time they tried to have a conversation, Andi was too busy focused on Gary and dressing all black like an office. So,
yep.
I'm looking forward to that. I also haven't watched the preview, so I don't know what's happening
next. One thing I'm actually, and you're going to be shocked that I'm going to give Karen a lot of credit for this. I'm actually proud of Karen. I'm proud of her because I think now she's starting to be truthful with herself. Because at the past, she will always ignore there's a possibility that Aaron could be the father. Now she's starting to see it.
She was truthful in believing that ZAC was the father, and this situation lets y'all know it because she didn't think that she conceived at the salon. She thought that she was much further along than she was when she was only sleeping with ZAC. So that was her truth. It took her getting new information of like, oh wait, this is when this happened, so it could be y'all too. So like while everybody's like, oh, she's just in denial specifically about this, nah, she assumed that she got pregnant way before she had this incident with both of these men. That was the truth for her.
Okay. I hear what you said, and I really wish you would just be happy the fact that I'm actually going to be, I'm being nice to Karen.
Because you want me to give you a participation award, and I'm not, like, you want me to say, great job for giving Karen a little bit of credit now that I have proof. No.
Touche.
Participation awards like that, baby. You're not 4 or 5. If you're going to be a whole human being and fully see her and you want me to give you credit for seeing her, then I'm going to need you to actually see her and not need this little white lady with no damn sonogram machine when she walk in for this baby to tell you that, oh, yeah.
All right, I can respect that. I'm still a long way with her, but you know, I'm giving her a shot. I'm just glad you
video today. I'll put it on screen for people to see. Y'all really have to, when it comes to Karen, you cannot like her, that's cool. But respect the fact that she's grieving and that she's going through each of the stages of grief. Respect that because people
I respect it.
Like one, we have to deal with Tyler Perry rightness and dragging the storylines out.
Yep.
She's been in a prolonged amount of time in different stages, but she's in them stages, and that shit is true. I literally said, like, Karen has been one of the most honest characters to where she literally is on her journey. Step 1, denial. We watched it. Step 2, anger. Step 3, bargaining. Like, these are literally all of the stages, and people got to give her time to go through those things.
Wait, that's 4 stages. What's the 5th one?
The 4th one is depression.
No, you already said the 4th. What's the 5th?
Acceptance.
That's the one we're waiting for.
Right. But she's not there yet, and she's not going to get there tomorrow. It doesn't happen like that. Like, people are talking about her like, oh, ZAC has moved on, so she need to be accepted it already. And it's like, no, I just lost him. I got to be able to feel my fucking feelings.
Like I said, I had to breathe for a minute. But you already know when she said like she was gonna try to get him back. You already knew that set me off. But like, one thing I'm gonna give Tyler Perry credit for, he gave us time to go. He gave us time for the people that don't like Karen to actually go back and watch the show, get a clear understanding. I was gonna be one of the people that was gonna open my eyes, and I'm starting to do that. I ain't completely there with her because there's a lot of things I still don't trust with her on that point. But I'm gonna be reasonable and I'm gonna give her the benefit of the doubt because she was experiencing the 5 stages of grief. Okay, scratch that. The 4.5.
I'm still experiencing them.
Yes, I understand. I understand that. So I give her that. But I'm
and another layer to that, Jalen. Like once you register, like she's experiencing the 5 stages of grief, she's also going through it with the multiple traumas that she's experienced. So she lost that. She had a man try to kill her. she had a woman blow her brains out in front of her.
Actually, she's had a man and a woman try to kill her because the mom tried to kill her first. The mom tried to kill her first.
It's like so many things that she's grieving and processing. And personally, I feel like she's having like a check because Baltimore actor would be fighting.
I know.
I would be fighting my homies. I would be fighting people I don't like. I would be fighting.
But going on with next week, I'm interested to see the conversation with Andi and Karen. I'm interested to see what all Karen is going, how she's gonna react when she sees ZAC in handcuffs, because like there's a bunch of things we're gonna see off of that. No telling. My thing is, I'm trying to figure out what's gonna be Hayden's next move now that he's gonna get the butt whooping that he deserves. Next week's gonna be interesting. It's gonna be really interesting. Also, I really want to figure out when Robin is gonna get in, like what episode Robin's gonna get in town, because we need him. We need Robin right now, because we need him to get the queen out and we need him to get the man out. Because as much, by the way, have you run into a lot of people that's got a lot of animosity, that's starting to hate Fatima right now?
Not hate her, but I do think people are. I think people who are outside of the Fatima fan train are starting to be a little bit more vocal. I don't think they hate her, but there are people who are communicating shortcomings. Wait,
I get that.
Oh,
but
also my watch. Actually, sorry, y'all. I forgot my watch. That was what my audio was. It was synced to my watch, trying to pull from there. I'm so sorry, y'all. You could probably hear me so much better now.
Oh, way much better. I was just like, way much better.
It was pulling the audio from my watch. Every time I get on here, I gotta remember to turn my Bluetooth off. My bad. You good? Yeah, I said some good shit.
You did, but like, be glad that I got good ears. Because I was able to respond on point without having to like make you repeat.
Yes. Yeah. But so I don't know if it's like people. I haven't experienced people like hate Fatima, but like we were having a conversation before I hopped on IG. I'm on live right now on YouTube, and people are just not like having a rose-colored glasses anymore with Fatima.
All right, last one. Then I got to deal. Sabrina and the dude, the dark skinned bro. Bio. Do you see that as going somewhere, or like, especially Sabrina said, like you can like a Bio can come to her place? Where do you see that potentially going? Can you see it going good? Can you see it going bad in a weird way, or like, especially with them two weird ladies that were following both Danni and Sabrina in the market? So okay, well you got to, once you see the brief view,
I also have the synopsis on my website. So what those things are, those women have a magazine. What do you see? Those women have a magazine in their hands, and a paparazzi took pictures of Sabrina and Bio at that place. So that's how I think she's going to learn who Bio is. And I think that's kind of going to make Sabrina uncomfortable. I also feel like Sabrina has not let go of Calvin. So honestly, it could go either way.
I agree with you that she hasn't let go of that. But I think we're starting to see where Sabrina is starting to give Bio a shot. It's like she ain't let go of Calvin.
I'm nervous that she's giving him a shot for the wrong reasons. Like, you went on one date to go dance with this man, and you're professing this is the best date I've ever been on. Even if it is, girl, don't say that shit. What's wrong with you? Like, it's like she just she's giving such needy energy. She's giving such needy energy, and I'm very concerned about women who date from a space of like, this man is just, it's gotta save me. Girl. So I personally don't see her and Bio going any great place, regardless of how amazing Bio is, just because I feel like Sabrina is just not in a place to be in a healthy relationship.
If Bio, here's the thing, I'm starting to get a little bit of Coming to America vibes with Bio and Sabrina. A little bit, not a whole lot, but a little bit.
I think that's what Tyler Perry's writing.
I sense a little bit of a reference on that, especially if we start to learn who Bio has really become. But to me, I'm hoping that it works out. But sending a whole bunch of flowers after one day, the two paparazzi ladies following her and stuff, like, that can push it a little bit too far. And I know when some people are about to toe a line. But, I hope it works out. I think, but like overall, I think episode 14 was really good. It didn't drag in too long because I didn't have to wait so long to see the stuff that I wanted to see. So that was just me. But overall,
so maybe I consider, when I say dragging, I think that it's way too much filler still.
True, because let's see, we've been in about 4 months in 4 months in season 4. And it's in that world, it's only been 2 weeks?
2 days.
2 days? That's even worse.
It's only been 2 days.
But I got it.
Which is another thing about why I need to let up on Karen, because it's only been about 3 weeks since season 1.
Look, we've already given our blame to Tyler Perry already. We already given because we already told him that you're dragging it on. So the fact that we give him the blame because he's dragging out too long, because we're making the thing, it's actually been around 2 months or 2 weeks or some stuff. Like, it's only been 2 days, so like it's messing with our heads and stuff. So you got to give us something. We giving him the blame. Give us some credit for getting on Karen and stuff.
Right.
But anyway. It's good talking to you. I'm glad to see you like you in good spirits. Glad to see you good. Like you good and everything. Yeah, you look great. You look great. But I'll hit you up later.
All right, y'all. I'm so sorry about the audio issues. I wear this little Samsung watch, and the Bluetooth, when it's on, it pulls my mic into there. So y'all couldn't hear me because my arm is down and it's trying to pull the mic from my freaking watch, and I totally forgot. And I'm so mad because I feel like I made some really dope points and y'all really couldn't hear it. So I'm probably going to have to go back and like put some of that in the video if I can remember everything that I said. But I feel like I made some really, really great points. If you want to get on camera, come and request me on IG and you can jump on and chat with me about Sistas. Hey, Lou. I'm going to start taking my watch off when I get on live. Unfortunately, that fool will survive. Probably Hayden is in the synopsis for the season finale. Maybe he gets fired then. Child. Who knows? What else? It's sad because it seems like their original dynamic was surrounded around Karen. So now that he's not with Karen, they need to work on their personal relationship. Yes, I agree. Creek Destiny, are you still in here? Hey, how are you? Wait, you're still a little low. What'd you say? Say something again. Yes, I can hear you now. Wait, you're still a little low. What'd you say?
Hold on. Can you hear me better now?
Say something again.
Hold on. Okay. Can you hear me okay?
Yes, I can hear you now.
Oh, okay. So I was just saying, I'm Beyince, the one who was there.
Oh, perfect. You made so many really, really interesting, intentional, thoughtful comments. So thank you.
Thank you.
Wait, it's low again. Hold on.
How about now?
Yes.
Okay, yeah, I just gotta project my voice. Okay. So to keep it pretty short and sweet. At one point, I was pretty much like a full-blown female lover and a full-blown Karen hater. But then I had to think about it. I'm like, I never really watched season 1 in full. When I first got into Sisters, I think it was around like the early season 3 kind of point where the female was on this up rising high, and I just saw what other people were saying, but I did not take the time to go back and see for myself and then make the self-evaluation. So I'm like, let me go back. And because I had heard stuff, but the thing is, in my mind, I would literally like mentally decline it. When I would hear that ZAC cheated on her, I would decline it. I'm like, well, no, I'm supposed to love this. I'm like, you know what? Let me stop ignoring stuff because I want to continue to love this shit and just go back and watch it and just be real with myself. I watched it and I'm like, nope. And that's the reason I was trying to avoid it because I'm a no cheating, no nonsense type of person. I just didn't want to see that in that light. But when I went back, I see the series open with the girl's legs open because she's talking about I had to make sure I had to clip. I'm like, oh, hell to the no, this dude is trash.
And she wants to have a baby. The doctor's like, what you going to do about that? And she's like, well, I'm not at a place. We not ready because she's still getting cheated on. How she going to have a baby? So then when we arrive in season 4 and she have a baby and people are perplexed as to why she wants it to be Zach's baby. It's like, this was already a dream. Like, y'all don't realize she is having, in the relationship going away is one thing, but she has to release the whole idea she had for her fucking life.
Exactly. And like, so learning about the whole STD and cheating thing, then this girl Helena and she's pregnant. That was one thing. Another thing that really pissed me off, but the whole start, I feel like had Zach maybe just taken a chill pill, maybe he would not have gotten dumped in season 1. I feel like he was just doing entirely too much. Like you have you're still in the impression that you have a baby on the way, and you up here getting all mad because she's hugging on air. Can you just trust her? Can you trust her?
She came. I literally have rewatched episode 11, 12, and 13 from season 1 3 times because I was working on some videos. She came to Danny's house, hat in hand, humbled. Like, we'll figure it out. We'll make it work. I'm sorry. I'm not going to talk to you like this no more. I'm not going to do this. I'm not going to do this. They make up. He's like, thank you for giving me another chance. I will never do it again. She's like, you can't promise me that. But even that's okay. Like, you can't promise me that you're not going to cheat on me again. But even that's okay. That was her energy. You wake up the next morning, you cooking breakfast, you doing all types of stuff, making her feel good and all this kind of stuff. That day she goes to work, the wife blows her brains out in front of her. She is traumatized. And then from that afternoon, who is this man? Why would his wife do that? Why? But I don't understand. Oh, now she's hugging him. And it's just like...
That's the thing that pissed me off. So that I'm like, exactly. Your girlfriend. Just watch a woman blow her brains out in front of her. And here's the thing, I am a no nonsense, no cheating, no infidelity type of person. You got one time to be with me and I'm gone. Even me in that situation, if I had inkling, even if I feel like you are cheating on me, you just watch somebody blow their brains out. Let me put that to the side and make sure you are mentally okay first. And then we can talk about, okay, did you mess with the dude? Did you lead him on? Were you allowing certain things to happen that shouldn't have been? And maybe that left the door open for him to think that you were. All of that can wait. But it's like, I feel like he was just doing too much. In a sense, it kind of caused Aaron to lean in Aaron's direction a bit more. Now, one thing I will say, in the finale, when this man ended up getting stabbed because he was to save her life, I felt a little kind of way. I'm like, wow. Wow. Like, you ain't have to get back with him if you didn't want to, but you literally gonna leave with the dude who's the son-in-law of the woman of the son who just stabbed him because he's trying to make sure this man didn't murder you in your own home. But regardless of all that, pretty much once I got back and I got that backstory, I'm like, no. Not only was it cheating and the STD, all this stuff, I'm trying to figure out how in the hell did you have a full-time job for 3 years? In this whole 3 years, Karen was paying rent, bills, food, clothes, every daggone thing like she is your damn mama. You
And
do
then
not pay
people were
for
like,
nothing.
"But what did
And
Karen
then,
do for Zach?
yes.
What didn't Karen do
And,
for
and
Zach?"
then and then the conversation they had with the law when she said, I never gave you thousands of dollars for this. I'm like, wait a minute, that's a new one. So not only was it rent bill, this woman was giving you thousands of dollars to try to help you start businesses. That how were you broke? You were making money at this airport. No, I know it ain't enough to sustain live on your own, but you were making something with this full-time job that you had at the airport. What were you doing with that money? When you had her paying everything. Like even if we at least had been saving it up, that would make a bit more sense to me. Not that it's right because you just straight up living off of it, but that would make sense. Like, where's the money at that you made at this airport for the past 3 years? What were you doing with that money? You were not paying Jack. Like,
Aside from the security deposit, because that was the dialogue. All you gave was money for the security deposit.
and then for me, it just shows me how low Karen's self-worth is. And I feel like it's still there. Like, I feel like she's never valued herself, even if you stress past this. Because how can you stay with this man and continue giving him a chance at things when he does this to you? And then the fact that she still wants him back, this is really awesome. I won't lie. There's a little bit of the Varen shipper still inside.
Just a little bit of what?
I won't lie, there's a bit of the Darren shipper, like Zach and Karen shipper, inside of me, just a little bit. But at this point, I feel like he don't even deserve her, and I'm just so mad that she even still won. Had it happened in season 1, because that's what I honestly feel like the original endgame was for. She was gonna pick Aaron temporarily, but he was gonna finally get his stuff together, and they were going to reconcile like naturally. They would just come back together, kind of like a meant to be sort of thing. I thought it was gonna happen like that, but I think what happened was all this peer pressure power got everybody loved the team so much, and he ended up putting the team together. But I just feel like Karen and Ebony get the short end of the stick, and I'm tired of it. Like I feel like Devale and Crystal have more chemistry than Kevin and Ebony. Like Kevin and Ebony have chemistry, but I feel like it's not on the same level, so people aren't as into them. That's one issue. And then she's up here in season 2 talking about something. They up there talking about a part of her heart is still Zach. And let me point this out because I know a lot of people like to say, oh, well, she only wants him back for money, or she only wants him back because
that was
the woman.
That's one of the arguments that annoys me the most.
Yes, the woman.
I'm just like, y'all literally gonna give her this bird ass reasoning when she has spent years investing in this.
Exactly. And she said, and before they ran into Fatima at the store, before she knew about that 25,000, before all of it, she said, I know it probably ain't right. I know it probably ain't logical. It's probably gonna be broken up again the next second later, but I still love Zach. I want him back and I want him to come home. So what the hell are y'all talking about? What are y'all talking about? And for me, I'm just so done. And it's not even just the team itself, it's the shippers of the team. I'm just so damn tired of it. I literally had to disengage myself from that call. I spent all day blocking so many people. But I'm just tired of seeing the illogical bullshit. And it's like, I can't wrap my head around it. Also, the team. I think people are forgetting. Each of these teams is on living. They're trying to tell me I'm supposed to depend on loving a couple and respect a couple and take a couple things. They have not known each other but nothing for about 3 weeks. They've only been together for about 1 or 2 weeks, depending on this timeline. Exactly. Why are you about to get yourself arrested while you're still on probation for a woman you didn't know 3 weeks? Fatima, why are you out here busting the windows out the car like this is the Jasmine Sullivan 2.0? Bust the full windows. Why are you over here busting the windows, committing vandalism, breaking the instrument, all this crazy nonsense over a man you do not even know? I don't care what nobody says. They do not know each other yet. 3 weeks of knowing each other, 1.5 weeks. Honestly, I feel like in this Fatima series, I mean, we've already seen the synopsis. Their relationship is like a perfectly timed clock, and then it gets thrown into a brick wall. So we already know shit going on. But the question is, are they going to come out on the other side of it, or are they just going to literally crash and burn? And then comes season 5, the team that is just completely destroyed, like it's just done. We have to see that. I'll say it here. I don't care. If they do crash and burn, I surely won't give a damn because I just don't like the couple no more. And I'm so surprised.
I'm not there yet. I do still enjoy them. So what I am attracted to, because it took me a while. When they first got together, I was still like, oh, Fatima and Aaron are just going to be itches to scratches for itches for right now. Cool. Yeah. It took me a minute to buy into Fatima, but what I really enjoy about Fatima and her relationship with ZAC is the standard that she sets and like how he is not able to come with the bullshit. So it made him literally have to step up or step off. And I love watching it. And then after we got past that part, I liked watching the process of a very strong and secure woman choose to give herself to somebody again after she's already been hurt, after she's already experienced some things, and all she has is an idea that this could work. So for me, I think I love and enjoy Karen's character because I have been her, and I think I really, really love Fatima because I feel like I am her now, but I have yet to find the man that I'm going to be like, all right, I'm going to give you this chance. Like, I think I am most attracted to like watching Fatima take the chance to hand ZAC over her heart. That part is like really scary for me in real life. So like watching that is intriguing. But you're right. Like I can say that, but then still be like, you're right. It has been 3 damn weeks. What is really going on?
And honestly, okay, I see someone in the conversation. I can understand that point, but at the same time, I don't understand that because I feel like y'all say that when it's according to the team. Like, okay, it's passion or it's just a show or all these other excuses. But when it's flipped the other way, I don't see that same energy because when Karen and Zach ended up having sex, that scene where he came to her salon crying and begging, you're trying to tell me passion? Passion? That scene when he came to her like that, and y'all having a fit. Oh, hell no. That's what the fuck you doing, blah, blah, blah. So
this ain't real. He ain't mean it. He meant every fucking word, every thrust. Okay? He meant everything.
Yes.
In that scene.
Don't tell me it's passion and it don't have to make sense if you're gonna be mad at that. I'm trying to make sense of it because at this point, y'all are moving in together. Y'all are like y'all about to start a whole life together. And 3 weeks, like for me, I don't want for him to end up hurting the both of them because I feel like it's been very rushed. And I think it's like I like Karen and Aaron, but I will admit they rushed things too. I feel like what Karen should have done was taking time for herself and told Aaron, I like you, I'm interested in you, but I need time to heal. I feel like had she taken that time to heal for herself, and when she knew she was ready, then got into a relationship with Aaron, I feel like it would have been all good. That coming to her crying and that it wouldn't have mattered because she would have been over it at that point. But she was not over it. I don't think she was doing it on purpose. I don't think she realized it. But she was using Aaron to kind of band-aid the wound instead of healing it. So him coming to her like that, it just ripped the band-aid off. The wound is wide open, and she has not been able to stop bleeding. So,
and she's also now trying to do what she knew she should have did before and try to put the brakes on them in their relationship. But now it's so complicated that it's very hard to put the worms back into that can. Like it's open.
Right, because like it's just so rushed. And I think what people are forgetting, we're seeing Karen and Aaron deal with that struggle of pushing things. I feel like that's gonna come out sooner or later. Or is that the truth? People don't want to admit it. People don't want to acknowledge it. They are right. And there have been signs here and there that show. I feel like Zach is still full-blown in love with Karen, and can't nobody tell me no different. Now, I think he loves the people. I think it's both. But I think it's signal I know that I'm still in love with Tina, but I am determined to move on. I am determined I'm not going to be with her no more because we don't bring anything but toxicity to each other. I'm in love with Tina, but I love Fatima, and I feel like he thinks since he loves Fatima, he just, okay, if I continue to just push forward, if I continue to move forward, the feelings will go away. But I just don't know because I feel like he is not properly processed. I haven't seen him take any proper steps to do the healing. They're just trying to chuck and jive forward. I feel like it's only going to work for so long. So when stuff hits the fan, people are going to be surprised. But it's like, can you really be surprised? What healing have we seen that all that does when it comes to Karen is pretend she does not exist. And whenever she's brought up, it's just defensive.
And throw
Why are
tantrums.
you that defensive if you don't care? Why are you that defensive if there's no real love there? He was showing his whole entire ass with Aaron at that basketball court. That's when I was like, no, now you know what, no, there was still some
But what
there.
I will say that where we are seeing healing, and y'all might not register it as healing, is Karen, who is taking her ass through all of these damn stages of grief.
Yeah.
We are watching Karen stumble, fumble, and process and heal while ZAC is avoiding.
And I mean, honestly, I'm just really hoping because I have to stay patient with myself too, because I find myself being upset because I really want her to tell me but I feel like I need Tyler to, can we get a time jump? Can we start getting a time jump, please? If they're going to do the stuff in weeks, okay. Can we start getting time? Because at this rate, I have to wonder, like you said in your video, is Tyler going to let Karen carry out the pregnancy? Because ain't nobody about to wait until season 28 for this woman to give birth. Ain't nobody about to wait for that. So I need a time jump. 5 months later. Hey, 2 months later. Like, that's just something. Because it's just dragging out entirely too long. But one of the lessons of the question, Hayden, I know it was said that he may be going to like ignite the vibe of this. I don't wish that don't care for you. But I'm just tired of being tired of him. Maybe he can get Robin said he's gonna fire him 8 years ago and I'm still waiting for that. But the thing is, in the synopsis for the final episode of this season, Hayden is there. They're talking about Gary trying to get some advice. He's like, I don't give a flying get advice from what? Can he just go? Can he just go?
Both Hayden and Gary can hold hands and jump out of a plane. Yeah,
and honestly, like okay, and that's the other thing I wanted to touch on. I feel like another issue with this show, like when I said before, I feel like the humor has caused this again to Karen in the past. The reason why this show was originally about 4 beautiful, smart, old African women. My favorite season of this show was season 1. Season 2 was good to me, but in my personal opinion, I just feel like season 1 is different. And like I love season 1 so much. I feel like we got to see so many different sides of her.
Speak up a little bit.
I feel like we got to see so many different sides of her. And I mean, honestly, I wouldn't have minded Fatima had they kept her where she was originally at. But then you want to come and you want to add her to this sisters thing, and now everybody is on this boat. And I feel like Tyler is kind of running with it because so many people love Fatima. But the only issue is the rest of these characters are not getting proper development. Like, I feel like he just has them doing all this random, don't nobody give a damn about repetitive ass stuff. But Fatima is getting all the glitz and the glamour. And it's just truly not fair at all. And honestly, on a personal note, I truly feel for Ebony, like she's not as like social or social media or anything as much as she used to anymore. I feel like baby girl is over it. And I really can't blame her. Like, I just don't know why Tyler did it dirty like this. And I'm not that kind of person who likes to scream. She likes to scream coloring. I'm not. But I just don't like the narrative. Me as a light-skinned person, I'm going to. I don't like how Tyler paints some of our dark-skinned brothers and sisters in this project. I don't. In the movie, why the bald-headed, dark-skinned man got to be Lucifer incarnate? Why? And why? I try not to see it like this, but I can't help but start to see we're seeing the dark-skinned one as the villain. He's taken as the bitter and desperate one. Wow, the light family is uplifted and everything. Like, I try not to see it like that, but it's been dragged out for so long at this point. And I think it's kind of why Ebony she kind of made a hint towards Tyler in the after show that she wanted Taylor's character to turn on a bit of a nicer side. So, I mean, season 5, apparently Ebony got a new hairstyle. That's all we could ask. Maybe new hairstyle, then new Karen. That's my hope. But we will.
I don't need a new Karen. I need more time to pass. Because honestly, out of everybody, I am fine with what I'm seeing from Karen's storyline.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, people hate on Karen so much, but I feel like they don't realize without Karen, this show would be nothing. She is the absolute centerpiece. Whether you love her or you hate her, she keeps this show trending. She keeps this show circulating. Her storyline is the main focal point. This triangle between her, ZAC, and Aaron. And I guess it ain't even a triangle no more. This quadruple love story. That's Fatima, Aaron, Karen. Like, she is the centerpiece. She takes Karen and her drama out. It's just gonna be boring. It's just going to be straight up boring because all Tyler wants to do is paint Fatima as this perfect. And hey, I guess once the spinoff comes, that will change because we know they're going to have some drama in that spinoff. So if they do stay together, I think by the time we get to season 5, it's not going to be all lovey-dovey. And not to say they're not going to have their moments, but I think it will be a lot more realistic of a relationship with ups and downs if they make it through whatever it is they're gonna go through, and that's the team spinoff. So I'm tired of them, but you know what? I'm not gonna root for their downfall. I'm not gonna do that. I just want for Karen to stop getting the short end of this stick in every single area. Like, I'm extremely tired of it.
And I'm gonna need the side dishes to be side dishing a little bit better. You're gonna have to give me something else when it comes to Sabrina and Calvin and Bio. You're gonna have to give me something else when it comes to Andi, Gary, and Robbie. Because the side dishes is not side dishes. I want to skip them up.
And like, honestly, Sabrina and Calvin, I hadn't paid too much attention to them because they just got on my nerves in the beginning. But from what I saw, everybody want to see them flying amazing gay and she don't. I'm like, girl, if you like him, you like him. Like, the man just told you that he's not. Why don't you just give the man a chance? But the thing is, they keep going with the back and forth thing, and now this Bio dude, I wouldn't. I'm like, so what? Does he have 14 wives or something? Is he at least like what is it? I already know it's going to be some kind of crazy twist.
Stereotypical drama, right?
I'm just so over it. I'm so tired of it. Like, I feel like the show for me sometimes, is just like, why am I torturing myself here? But it's like, I know that, but it's like, I know that I continue to watch because I'm holding out hope for Karen, and it's like, I just really want to see her glow up. I want to see her come back. I want to see her bounce back. So I continue to watch and hope. I'm like, come on, Tyler. Are you going to continue doing her dirty like this forever? Like, come on now. Like, I'm just sitting here and I'm waiting and I'm hoping for the tables to turn again for her to get on the up and up. So that's the reason why I'm truly still hanging there. And in all honesty, I hope for her to get a new love interest before, because as I feel, Kevin and Ebony, they have an okay chemistry. But compared to the Devale, I don't like the chemistry. But the chemistry is there. Let's call it and I feel like it just does not compare. I feel like get a different character, get a different actor to come in. I know very well that can get somebody that has more chemistry with this woman. I feel like she doesn't need to do stuff. And that's not, but then the thing is, I feel bad because I like Aaron and I like Aaron's fourth parent. It's just the level of chemistry. But I mean, honestly, chemistry is not everything though.
That's also something they can work on though. I think that they can, depending on the material that they give in the script and what they do outside, just as actors as they prepare. I think that Crystal and Devale benefited from having the Tyler Perry tipped them off early on of like, oh, I see a spinoff here, and then them cultivating a friendship to the point that now she's the godparent to one of his kids. So they have a relationship. That is something that actors can do in general.
Yeah, and so, then it turned out like I didn't even know Crystal and Hayden knew each other. Like before the show, I did not even know. So just I felt like those seeds were already planted for the chemistry. But I mean, and as far as Aaron, one of the last points, I don't know. I feel like he has it in pieces of heart, and I love Aaron because I feel like maybe him and Pam, as nosy as she can be, as pushy as he can be, they have those flaws. Aaron is a bit too pushy for my liking, and Pam can be a bit too nosy for my liking at times. But I feel like the both of them have been the main two figures in Karen's life that have had her back and stuff beside her throughout all of this stuff that has been happening. So for Aaron, I know a lot of people are saying, oh, he just need to leave her alone. Don't do nothing petty. Like, okay, you know what, I'm just like, don't be playing games. That's the thing. I don't want him to play games with her. But maybe just, like, give the girl the space that she's asking for, you know? Mm-hmm. And if too much time doesn't pass, maybe try to leave it for her to reach out to you. Now, everybody has the right to have their own boundaries. Like you said, you can decide how long you're willing to wait. So that's that standard. But for that time period, maybe just wait for her to come to you. Because like you said, this is a whole 9 month pregnancy, you know? Like if not, she ain't gonna have a whole baby done in 1 second. Like, let's just give it some time.
You do not gotta say this right now.
Yes, like she is aware that you are a possible father now. Now I know some people were saying whether or not she should tell that. I feel like she should. I don't see any reason why not. My thing with that though, I'm just annoyed because he has not taken any measures at all. That's the thing I appreciated about Aaron. He knew that was a possibility, but he wanted to step up to the plate and speak. That has not made any action like for real.
And also, I'm after that episode, I'm also like, do she need to say anything? Because he's sitting over here looking at Danny talking about something. Well, she was gonna preach it, and it's like, well, how would you know? Because you didn't know about that after the fact. You knew about what you thought happened at the hotel that never actually really happened. So I'm also like, no, y'all want her to leave him alone, right? She don't need to say shit until this baby come out.
And that's what I'm saying. Now, if this baby ends up being Zach, and Karen is like, you know what, I'm tired of his damn attitude. You don't want to have shit to do with the baby. He ain't got to have shit to do with the baby. Aaron already said, I'm going to be there for you and this baby, whether it's mine or not. So the thing is, if she ends up having this baby, and a whole lot of time passes, and Aaron is up here being the whole daddy to a baby that ain't his, and Zach comes back pissed, the team saying, I don't want to hear no talk, because he didn't give a damn. He hasn't given a damn the whole time. So if the baby ends up being his, well, why she ain't telling him the baby is? Why she ain't been more vocal with him? Yada, 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 yada. No. Do you want to be a focal figure or not?
Wait, I don't know what's going on the sound for y'all, because it's working on my end. You might have a lag, and we fixed it. So if you're behind, if you're not like live with us, you probably are hearing like the issue from before. Sorry, go ahead.
Somebody said you gotta remember, she said Aaron helped her through the night. Like, she did say that. I remember that one time, like, when they were at Danny's house, she was saying, like, Aaron helped her get through the night. So that was making Zach think that she's been with him more. But I mean, at the same time, though, I feel
but he
like,
don't know that.
Yeah, but then even if he did, though, I feel like he can't use that as a reason because I feel like Zach does not see Karen as a liar. And the reason why I say that is because I remember that scene where Fatima put an emphasis on it. Now, he was talking differently to Karen. I mean, not to Karen, to Danny. But before that happened, when Fatima said, if he shut that shit down
Yeah, you
immediately.
did.
He was like, there ain't no. Now, I don't know what happened because now his feelings are completely changed. But because of him saying that, that just gave me the vibe. I don't think he's ever seen Karen as a liar. So even though Karen did say that whole thing about Aaron giving her to the night, once she told him that it was only once, I feel like he truly believes that. So to me, it's just a matter of he just don't give a damn. Now I'm going to give him some reason though. I feel like if Karen tells him, hey, this is Karen, you need your father, this, that, and the other, we're going to go ahead and get a DNA test. I feel like if he is the father, I'll give him the benefit of the doubt. He will probably start being a lot more active. Even before the baby is born, if the baby ends up being his, I do believe he will be there. I don't think there'll be no judgment or anything like that. But I just wish he would be like a bit more caring on us just to see, okay, are we going to the doctor? When are we going to get a test? Like he's not even being proactive about that. When are we going to set these tests up? Like just nothing, like no care whatsoever. And to be honest, I feel like the healthier option for her would be Aaron being the father. I want Aaron to be the father because I feel like that would be a much healthier situation for her. But I won't lie, the petty in me wants Jack to be the father because I'm like, you know what, no, just despite all he got, no, let him be the father. That's the petty.
It's not the petty in me. It's the this is what she actually wanted before. So it's really the hopeless romantic in me. Not that I think that they're gonna get back together just because they have the baby, but she's already like, I don't know if people register this, but like for me in my house, because I need to reiterate that on my platform because people seem to struggle with the idea that these are my thoughts.
Right.
When you are with somebody that you see a future with, you see marriage, you see kids, like you create this whole idea of your life with, I don't know what the scientific words for it is, but you go through this thing where you have a confirmation for yourself and you're like, that is a life that you can see for yourself and that you accept. What I'm seeing with Karen right now is she ain't get to that point with Preacher Man, so she's not as okay with the idea because it was never an idea before. So for me, I want it to be Zach's because she already figured, like, once she knows Zach, like knows him, has invested in him, has believed in him, and has wanted to be the mother of his kids. She still has to go through time and energy and space to get there with Aaron. Can she do it? Yes. But this was already a thing. So I'm not trying to be petty, but I want it to be Zach's because that would be a completion of a dream for her.
And like, I understand that. Like, I thought about that before. Like, it's what she wants. Like, it's obvious she wants Zach to be the father. So in my mind, I'm like, well, I want her to get a break. So I guess maybe I should just vouch for what she wants. She wants him to be the father. But then I'm also thinking about, would it just end up putting her in more pain over the long run? Because if she has a child with this man, that's at least an 18-year bond between y'all, and it's a lifetime because you're always going to have this child. And this is going to be all this time. What if him and Fatima just completely work out? They end up getting married, having kids of their own. He continues to do everything for Fatima he never did for her. Not to say she'll never get over him, but is it just always going to be that same pain that she's that kind of pain?
I don't think so, though. Like, and that's the reason. That's another reason. So one is she wants it, and two, I think that they're fully capable of being great co-parents and great friends. That's the only reason. If I felt like they would be on this endless toxic ass cycle, I would be like, oh hell no, this cannot be his baby because this is nothing but purgatory for the both of y'all. But I do feel like if they're gonna have this broken ass home, if they like, because personally, I don't feel like Tyler Perry is done with Zach's character either. And while Fatima is giving and vibes and all of that in the beginning, again, I don't feel like Tyler Perry is done with Zach's character. Maybe this other baby is the brother's baby or something like that. But like Zach is not a character that I would put past him having other kids outside of his main relationship. So for me, when I think about all of that, I don't feel like Karen is a horrible option to be a co-parent. So I'm like kind of like doing the pros and cons list. And because I don't believe that they will be eternally toxic with each other, like they will get to a place where they are actually really great friends and good for each other's lives. Like I could see them getting to a place where he has a similar rapport as to what he has with Danni, with Karen. And I'm okay with that. Does that make sense?
Yeah. And I guess like for me, because I like to think of it that way. Because in my mind, I'm just like, I don't want them to turn into 2.0 of like a Marcus, Angela, and Keisha, where it's all this drama all the way around. That's like that was my worst. That's my worst fear. Whenever it's a baby mama or baby daddy storyline, I'm like, can we please never?
See, I'm thinking about it like Will, his first wife, and Jada.
Well, I mean, but I guess I also got to think about it at the same point. Fatima has never had a problem with Karen. Fatima has actually always liked Karen. So I don't think if this is that baby, I don't think Fatima's going to be the one causing any issues. Now, she did admit to Andi that she does feel a certain kind of way. She admitted she wanted to be the one.
That's normal, because we all do. Girl, I love this boy who had a fucking baby on me, and I was sick. Okay?
Yeah, so we know she feels a little type of way, but I can tell, I do not think Fatima is going to be trying to create any drama. As long as Karen can stay respectful towards her, Fatima will stay respectful towards Karen. So I don't really think, I think once Karen gets over that, there will be no issue at all between Karen and Fatima. So that's already a done deal right there. So then we're just thinking
and it's coming. It's just going to take time. Like, that's also why people like, Erica, you're giving Karen all these passes. I'm like, I'm not giving her all these passes. She's literally going through the process. I have fought hoes. Like, I cannot come down on Karen because I was out here in these streets doing goofy girl so I get it. Like, she is not the worst. Her rolling her little neck and doing is not the worst. Trust.
And my thing is, like, I can't listen to somebody say giving passes from a person who likes that. Don't talk to me about giving no damn passes. When this fool up here, STD giving, nobody, don't talk to me about giving passes. But I feel like it's just going to take time. And as I said, I have to remember that these are all, like, these are all weeks apart. So seriously, I'm going to need a time jump. Because all I know is what Tyler better not do is have this woman have a miscarriage or have this baby, God forbid, have some sort of illness or something where the baby dies. Don't do it. Because this woman has been through enough as it is. Do not let the woman's baby die. Do not let her lose her damn baby. If he pulls that shit, I swear on everything I love. But the reason why I'm fearing that is because I know these seasons are only a week. So if this man really hasn't thought about doing no time jump, he cannot be planning. I'm saying, how is he planning on letting us fulfill this pregnancy? Because this show ain't about to last no 15 to 8 to 20 something seasons. So if they're not doing a time jump, now I'm scared. Because how is she going to fulfill her house? Is she going to fulfill this? So it's like in the back of my mind, it's like, something. Please don't. Please don't. The woman has been through it.
Maybe we will get we don't have no choice but to get a time jump, I don't think. Or he has to speed up within the seasons.
Yes. Yes. If you're not
season 5 could be a season that he actually like puts more time.
Because like, I don't know where this came from, because Tyler did not even always do this. I know we talked about this right now, but real quick, for example, with House of Pain. That show, it used to be on top, quickly along. He brings it back for the reboot, and now just like the rest of all of his other shows, dragged out. So I know
I don't watch a lot of his shows.
Yeah, like
the only ones I watched were For Better or For Worse, and If Loving You Was Wrong. And If Loving You Was Wrong had one season that lasted a day, and I was so over it.
I never watched that show.
I was like, it was like a guilty pleasure, so I watched to the very end, and then Trevante was in the first season. Hey, Trevante. But It literally, like, I feel like it was season 3 that was literally a day and a half, the entire season. And I was like, Tyler Perry, what in the hell are you doing? This is not 24, baby.
No. But honestly, I've noticed he just started doing that over the past number of years. He did not always used to drag stuff out like that at all. I don't know what his deal is, if he needs to do either a time jump or start speeding up the time of these things, because I am not going to sit up here and stand for him doing anything that I want to baby. I will take my tail down to Tyler Perry Studios myself. Don't do it. Because the woman that been through enough.
Yes.
But yeah, honestly, that's my piece on it. Maurice and Chido, really quick. Can we get some backstory on Maurice? Because it's like I said with Kim. What happened to you in your life, Maurice, where you have no self-respect, you have no self-worth? Why are you entertaining a man who held a gun to your effing head? And round the baby, why is he in your home? I don't give a damn what Calvin said. Why is he in your home? Why is he in your bed and you didn't smack the shit out of him? Why? And like for you, I understand you have a backstory, I understand you have a story, but like you said in your earlier video today, the way I thought you were a grown-ass man, that don't absolve you from all this other stuff. And I saw in the synopsis for season 5, they said she was going to get a job at the damn airport.
What we're not going to do is take every raggedy Negro through the ZAC blow-up plan. That's what we're not going to do. Okay? We're not going to do it.
Like, I don't mind you becoming back. Me trying to get the benefits that, okay. He can go, okay. As long as he's not stealing no more. As long as he's not robbing no more. As long as he's not doing something illegal. If you are going to try to live honest and get your shit together, okay. But I don't want him with my weed.
That's like, to me, that's even too low of the bare minimum. Like, Tyler Perry, you want me to be okay with Q as a character when all he says is, I'm sorry, please sleep with me because I know you like my, and I was molested. That's not enough, boo. It's not enough. It's not enough for you to not steal because you shouldn't have been doing it to begin with. It's not enough for you to not put a gun to somebody's head because you shouldn't have been doing it to begin with. Like, I see no substance in Q. Like, it's one thing to steal the freaking flowers off the truck that Bio just sent to the bank and bring the flowers in and not even be thoughtful and intentional enough to take the card out before you hand it to Maurice. That's one thing that you get no credit for because Q. But it's a different thing to walk up and be like, well, one, you shouldn't even be back at this bank anyway, but that's a whole other conversation for a whole nother day. But if you were going to do it, it's like, yo, I've seen all these flowers out there, and I really wish I could buy you some because you deserve all the flowers in the world. That would show me that you're actually making a change, that you actually want to be redeemed. He is doing nothing and expecting everything, and I have no sympathy for it. If you are going to peddle your sob-ass story, then nigga, you need to be sobbing while you do it, and you need to be so open and so vulnerable that somebody feels compelled to pour into you. I don't feel compelled because you're still trying to be sneaky and shysty with every single thing that you do. You bring a flower that you stole off of a truck that just came to him and Sabrina rejected. You cook dinner with the groceries that he have in his own house. You can't even go and like stand on a corner all damn day and ask for money and scrounge up $10 to go and buy him some pork chops and make it and be like, you know what? I had nothing, but I did this and this and this because I know that you like this. If you're not giving me that, Tyler Perry, I don't want it. You cook my damn groceries. How you know I ain't want to fucking air fry them things and you smothered them? No, I don't know. It's a no for me. Like, it's really a whole hell no for me. And I know people don't think about this or don't think I do this, but when I'm having commentary on these shows and I'm talking about people and behavior, I like question myself of like, well, damn, why are you responding to him this way? I'm like, damn, we got his whole molestation story and I don't feel bad. Is there something wrong with me? No, he's not doing enough.
And for me, it just kind of comes across as, I see it as disrespect to Maurice, because it's like, bad enough. You took all this time, Tyler, to give this man a lesson. And the first one you get, he is just so trash. Like, Maurice deserves better than this. But the thing is, how am I going to say he wants better for somebody that doesn't want better for themselves? And I feel like that's just the definition of Maurice and the definition of Andi, who, by the way, I have been 100% done with. I don't understand why she's still doing all these mental gymnastics with this man. And people want to get on Karen for certain things. Now, I will admit, when she first walked out of Andy's room, oh my God, dang.
Oh, fuck that.
Like,
I would have been
I
out.
understood. I understood, but I understood, but I did feel, oh my bad. I didn't realize I was speaking so low. Somebody said, can I speak up? Oh, yeah. I understood, but I didn't, I couldn't help but to feel somewhat bad. But at this point,
Why?
well, I guess because I have seen the bond that Karen and Andi had for the part of the show. For me, out of that whole sister circle, is mainly Karen, Andi, Danni, Sabrina. And I saw that bond that Karen and Andi had. And I guess even though in one part of my mind I was like, okay, but Andi, you know you should not be marrying this man right now. The other part of me felt bad because it's like, I feel like this man has her under his spell, and she just can't see that this is not normal. She cannot see this is not right, and that her friend is trying to keep her from making a mistake. And I feel like she saw it as Karen abandoning her when that was a person that she trusted the most out of everyone she had in her life at the time. So I felt bad for her in that regard, but yeah, I mean, at this point, with everything that's happened between those two, I'm actually glad that Karen did work out on the wedding, because I think had she not, Andi may have actually ended up marrying him. And hold up, and my graduation speech. Who in the world did these comments was here? My graduation speech. He was speaking well at the graduation speech. So who is this? Okay.
I don't know. I stand behind that walkout. I have two experiences with friends where their men are involved. One was a domestic violence situation, and I almost got my ass beat because I'm that type of friend where, oh, we swinging, I'm swinging then. If he's going to swing on you, I'm going to swing on him. Mm-hmm. And you still are back getting beat the next day after I save you from whatever. And then another friend, I have done the ride and die thing, and I'm good on it. So there are limits within my friendship, within family, where I'm not just going to ride with you on a mission to hell or the mission to do some dumb shit. I'm just not going to do it. And I was so proud of Andi. I mean, I was so proud of Karen for walking out of that wedding, because there's no way that the wedding should have happened. And I appreciate her for being such a stand-up person to be like, I'm not just about to smile, grin, and bear it because you want me to. Mm-hmm. So no. I'll knock the people who did stay because it spoke to whatever their character, whatever they wanted to do for her. But I felt like it was very strong of Karen to do, and I'm proud of it. I agree with you that Andi did feel abandoned, but I just, in that moment, I feel like Andi's mindset is not where it needs to be regardless. She's thinking the wrong things about Karen. She's also thinking the wrong things about Gary, which is how her ass is here and ended up with a ring that won't come off. And no.
Yeah. Yeah. But that's pretty much how I feel on Andi. And lastly, Danni, my thing with her is Danni and Preston. Now, I think me and you, we disagree with this here, but it's okay, because I do respect your opinion. Okay. Now, for me, I felt like I was more mad at Danni than I was at Preston in the breakup, because I felt like for most of season 3, in the beginning of season 3, it seemed like she had finally surrendered, and she had accepted that this man was trying to love her, and I had hoped they were going to do good. But then over the course of the season, it think it kind of started when he brought up the word marriage. And I'm like, Danny, calm down. Just because this man said the word like marriage, or he wouldn't mind getting married one day, that don't mean he about to propose to you. Like, why are you panicking? And then
we agree on this. We agree up until everything that you just said. We agree.
Yeah. Now the part that I'm about to get to though, the part where Danny, the whole thing with Danny El Fuego and Preston, when he walked in, this conversation they had, I think is where he made disagreeable.
Okay. I
like Danny, I do. But with all due respect, I feel like everything she said in that conversation, it came across as completely another bullshit. I don't know if that's what it
was. What she was saying about his whiteness and stuff.
Yes, and
that one.
Let me know. Okay. Certain.
No, I'm asking. I'm just trying to make sure I got the right conversation.
Yes. Certain parts of it came across to me, and the reason why it was the timing for me. This is the second time he has walked in on you with somebody else. While some people were saying, "Oh, but they wasn't in a relationship." Don't get me that, because if Daniella walked in on that man with another woman, y'all know she would have lost her shit. So if you have that same mindset, he shouldn't be walking in on you with other men, whether you want to call it a relationship or whatever it is. And I feel like it was deflection. And it came across to me as deflection and manipulation. You caught me again.
Girl, I said the same thing. I got a whole video on it.
Oh, well, maybe I may have misheard or misremembered this. Because I'm like, he comes in and he sees you instead of aggressing with that hand. You want to start bringing up all this random shit that he already apologized for. Now, something he already apologized for and that was already done away with, and that you said, okay, we cool. You bringing up old shit that already happened once he catches you again. And I'm like, why does Preston need to be the one? And maybe it's petty and it's immature, but I'm like, why can't Danny be the one to try to reach out and fix it? Because I feel like it is her fault while they're in this current predicament. Why is Preston the one doing all the work? Why is Preston always the one fighting? Why is Preston always the one wearing his heart on his sleeve? Why is Preston always the person doing all the damn work when there's supposed to be a two-way relationship?
Girl, they was on my head about my thoughts about Danny in that regard. I agree with you 100%. The only thing that I did know is like, okay, I'm going to give you the whole interracial relationship thing, and if you feel like he needs to learn more, cool. But if you're not willing to teach him, then where the hell are you going to go? You can't throw him a podcast, a book, a YouTube video. When I tell you, in these dating streets, there's literally a guy that I was talking to last year. I'm not going to say it was dating. I was talking to last year. He was from California, grew up amongst white people. He was like, oh, you're the first black girl that I'm starting to date. And it showed. And when I tell you, I gave him a list of things to watch because I'm not about to do it. I'm from Baltimore, baby. Watch The Wire. You'll understand why I say this and why I think this. I grew up on this street. Like, that is me. So, Danny, you think that he don't understand black girls? How is he going to get to understand black girls if, one, you're not going to answer any questions or provide any insight, and he has no other ones around, and you ain't got a book list, a podcast, or nothing? Give him a playlist of the shit that you listen to, girl. Like the dudes that I talk to, I will give you a playlist. I will tell you every one of my favorite authors, every one of my favorite writers, every one of my favorite artists. Like,
you gotta educate.
Niggas are not Miss Cleo, girl.
You have to educate them. And she's like, oh, you want me to raise you up? He's not asking you to raise him up. He's asking you just for basically
to walk him through it. He said, hold my hand. And she's like, oh no. I'm like, certainly.
Yes. And the thing is, she acts like Preston hasn't been patient with her in certain areas. You can't be patient with him. This is my issue with Danny and Preston. Why is it always him? When is it gonna turn into not 80-20 and 100-100? When is he gonna get back from her when he's pretty in? And why can't he get that same compassion? Why can't he get that same patience? And I've seen times where Danny has been patient and has been compassionate with Preston. I'm like, Daniella, why can't you do this all the time? But it's like,
because she don't want to talk about cows, but he want to sit around and watch you smoke weed and talk about the girls.
Right.
Girl,
Right. And you know
Oh
what?
yeah, no. The place I'm at with Preston right now is that I think that he's playing goofy ass games, and I felt like he's more mature than that.
Yeah.
So
Now
that's
that
my
I
only
did.
thing. I
Yes.
agree that when Danny pulled that whole "you in your white privilege," I said,
Yes. That
"When?"
pissed me off. That pissed me off when she said that. I'm like, Daniella King. What in the hell are you talking about, girl?
And damn, I forgot. I'm like losing her name in real life, and she was on social and like in the after show and like caping for her character. Like, no,
That pissed
y'all
me
got, and
off
I'm just like,
too.
no, girl, stop trying to make fetch happen because that
Mignon,
shit came out of nowhere.
yes, Mignon, that pissed me off. I'm like, no. But those are my feelings on Danny and Preston. Like, I feel like she needs to be the one to reach out. But I do agree right now. He is playing games. Preston, stop. Be yourself. Be
Just be yourself,
yourself.
baby.
And the thing is, you can tell, even despite all of this, he wants her back. He misses her. Maybe just go on ahead and tell the truth, Preston. Tell her you want her back. Tell her that you miss her, but that you want for things to change. And if she cannot make that change, if she cannot make it meet you halfway, maybe it's just not meant to be. But there's no need to continue playing these games. Preston is better than that. It's because he's listening to the wrong. It's nothing wrong with getting relationship advice sometimes, but he's getting it from the wrong source. And yeah, he is better than that. And my charge is hella low. The other needs to
Okay.
dip up, the other needs to dip up out of here. So, but
Thank you, Destiny, so
yeah,
much. It was so great chatting with you. I appreciate it.
yeah.
Now I
Thank
gotta go back to my videos. I'm
you.
like, did I miscommunicate? Because I was 100% on Danny's side. I mean, on Preston's side with that whole.
Yeah, I think I may have mixed that up with another point in time where you were talking about Danny and Preston. I must have had like that
Okay.
mixed up because I thought that we disagreed a bit on that, like not completely, but just in like one area.
Yeah.
And I thought we did. But yeah, but it really was a wonderful talking to you, Answer. It really was.
All right. I'm gonna see you in the comments, y'all. Thank
I
you.
am. Yeah. Have a
Bye.
good night.
You too. Okay.
Okay, y'all. I'm so sorry for all of the audio issues that we were having at the beginning. But we are like at 2 hours and 45 minutes, so I'm about to wrap it up. This has been a really, really great conversation. Thank you so much for joining me on live today to talk about the show. Before I get out of here, let me go through some of y'all's comments that y'all saying right here on YouTube. Your mom loved that show for that reason. I wasn't adding another Tyler Perry to my repertoire. Yeah, these TP shows be dragging out. Q kick rocks. Yes, Q has been a humdrum. He has no training on how to be. That's all he knows. He has nothing. Um, there are folks in these streets who have a criminal mindset. Period. They have lived no other way. That's cool and all, but if you're going to try to now Tyler Perry, if he's going to try to have him reposition or have a redemption story, then at some point he's going to have to start to pick up other habits. He cannot stay a criminal, but then want the audience and Maurice to see him as not a criminal. Does that make sense? Everybody has a story, but you could either use that story as motivation to do better or just do stupid exactly. And even like not even just for me, it doesn't absolve his molestation story, doesn't absolve him from what he's doing now, because like he's making mistakes in the now, and like it could be triggered from your abandonment, you're not feeling protected, all of that, but like you are at a place now where you can now articulate your story to other people, you can stand in your truth, and you have made additional mistakes that you also have been truthful about. So the next steps from that is to do better from the mistakes that you're making now. That just has to happen if you want people to believe you. So I get what y'all are saying, but if you're trying to validate his mistakes and criminal mindset, you just can't, because he wants to not be seen as a criminal. He wants to be taken in and loved and appreciated and trusted, and that stuff is built. So he has to get the building. Q has only tried to survive in his entire life, not live. His pain has gotten him over his chocolate looks if he knew other ways to function, he wouldn't be robbing and stealing. To me, Tasha, he knows enough because he stopped doing it enough to stay out of jail for these 2 days that he's been out since he's been bumming it at Maurice's house. So he does know. He just needs to do more of what he's doing and not let it just be surface. If you want to get Maurice flowers, something in your brain told you wanted to get Maurice flowers, but you have no money, there has to be at some point where a switch flips where you can communicate, I want to buy you flowers because you deserve flowers every day, but I can't afford it and I want to give you the things that you deserve. Even that to me is more powerful dialogue. He thinks certain things, but is not saying enough truthful things for me to really buy into him changing and to be able to trust him. It's just not. And I get it. I have known criminals, dated criminal. I get it. But that fact is not going to now absolve you from having to do better or at least try better. Does that make sense? True. So Q could be an interesting character, but the writing lacks some depth. The writing lacks a lot of depth for sure. Now we find out that he can cook, so the storyline will switch to him being a culinary job or eventually turning his life around and starting his own restaurant catering company, TP possibly. No, Tasha, he's going to go work at the airport. He'll be working with Danni next season. That has already been leaked. I tried to let him figure it out. Mess doesn't work in his stressful because some men really don't know, or they just aren't that bright to find out. They not resourceful. Well, I feel like men be resourceful when they want to be. Hey, Katie. If he had white privilege, he wouldn't have started dating Danni. I mean, Jules, I get what you're saying. There are white men who do it because they have like an Ebony fantasy, which is why I also struggle with dating interracially. Like, I don't ever want to be nobody's fetish. I agree with you specifically for Preston, but there are men who have done it or do it. I need CP to get it together in his solitude writing room. All the black women are now looking crazy on the show. Yep. Relationships is not easy. It's work. Maybe Danni is not ready for that now, or she doesn't appreciate him enough to begin this work, or she just wants to date him. Yeah, I think that Danni's not ready at all. But she's running around telling everybody that she is and that she knows what she's doing and everybody need to listen to her. It's like, girl, you hit it out the park with some advice, but when it comes to your own life, child, it's a damn dumpster fire. Thank y'all so much for y'all's comments. This was a really, really good chat. All right, I'm about to hop over here because y'all have gotten 3 hours of my time and I got to go and watch The Boys and I got to create more videos. I'm trying to prep some videos this week because next week is my birthday, child, and I'm going to be out here. I'm going to be out in these streets this weekend. If you're in LA and you see me, make sure you say hey. And next week, I plan to take a week and just live life like doing whatever I want to do. All the things I've been putting off and like my ideal week, that's what I'm going to do next week. So like I'm going to be hiking probably every morning. I am doing surf lessons again next week. I'm meeting up with certain friends, going to boxing classes. I'm going to a pole class. I am probably going to go to Santa Barbara. Like I'm just doing a bunch of things that probably won't be making videos. So I'm going to prep a bunch of videos this week and try to get some done this weekend and enjoy. So thank y'all again. My breakdown video is on the channel right now as well, so go and check that out if you want my concise thoughts on the episode. If you're catching this replay, I appreciate you coming and watching the stream replay. Y'all some real ones. My preview video will be up tonight so that you'll get my predictions for next week's episode. And then I do also have a couple of subject matter videos speaking about the couples and some of the storylines that are happening, so look out for that. P-Valley will have a live on Monday, y'all, because we get a P-Valley episode on Sunday, and I will still be live on Monday for that. And I'll see y'all on the next one. Thank you. Bye.